you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Policy scholarship. This is the knowledge you can't get in colleges. If you read from the Bible, obey the commandment and know who your mother and father is. Tune in to sa.neter, cause he the protector of the gods. I'm talking about Dr. Benjamin, Yusuf, Cannon, and John. We got a scale on my art. If he light as a feather, let's go and weigh his heart. I am the shrine of Ptah. If you say I am, better recognize a god. All I see is pseudos and frauds. Kudos to my dogs. Shit judo for you frogs. I think it's time to hop off the environment. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough.
Will survive. Comedic knowledge on the rise. Raising consciousness divine. To the truth we subscribe. Jabari leading the way. Shaka almost don't play. Sa.neter done open the gates. And up and banging the day. It's a family for the culture. Rebuking all you vultures. Service environment full of soldiers. Unlock your mind, they'll expose you. HOK is the squad. Debating the truth is a nod. Watch when you step in the pod. Or they'll tear you apart.
Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. 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 Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough.
Yeah. Once again, sa.neter's in the building. I'm here. I'm waiting on my guests to come in. Yeah, we got Mandika Mali today. Mandika got a lot to get off his chest, and I promised him I'll let him come on over and do his 1-2 step. I know how he could get it in. So I'm waiting on the brother right now. I'm waiting on Mandika Mali. Come and turn up. Yeah, I know how he could get, man. So where he at? He been rushing me. Let me hit him up, see where he's at. Calling Mandika Mali. Let's go.
What time? What
Yo,
channel
man,
you got it on?
I'm on sa.neter Studios. We live already.
Okay,
We live already, man.
okay, here I come, man.
All right.
I'm on House of Conscience looking for you.
All right.
All right, here I come.
All right. So y'all know how it's gonna get. We're gonna see what Mandika Mali can bring. He's tired of the pseudos. He claimed that Unc is a pseudo amongst other brothers. So we'll see how this thing work out. It's hot and humid out here in New York today. Tomorrow, man, damn, it's supposed to be 90 degrees tomorrow. I'm going to be in the AC in the car or something. All right, we're waiting on Mandika. Let's go, Mandika. Where you at? And Indigenous Blackman supposed to join in. Indigenous Blackman supposed to join in. I heard that Indigenous been saying that Unc, Garfield, and a lot of people over there been taking his information. We're gonna find all this out right now. They've been creeping his information and putting it up as though it was their own. So we're gonna find this out.
Telephone number 540773.
Yo, where you at, bro?
This is unprofessional, bro. Cause I don't see where's the link. Can you just send me text me the
Yo,
link?
you don't know how to go to sa.neter Studio?
Yes, I'm going to Pseudo. It's got some old pastor dudes up there. That's all I see.
No,
some old
man.
pastor
Go to sa.neter Studios, brother.
That's
Damn,
where
they
I'm-
got my
okay.
shit out of the algorithms, man.
Yeah, so I'm trying to tell you, bro. We don't see it.
Just type in
So-
sa.neter Studios, man.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Here it comes. I can find it.
All right.
Let's see.
And they got my joint. See that? That's what I'm talking about. They don't even have me in the algorithms, man. They really, really trying to shut me down, boy. And this channel right here alone got 189K. This YouTube is getting crazy. I was looking at Hassan Campbell yesterday, and he was talking, and he had like over 3,000 in his chat. I was like, damn, see how they open up when you just talking garbage and stupid stuff? But when you talking this other stuff, they don't want the people to hear this, man. Indigenous, what up, brother?
What's going on, sa.neter? How's it going? Peace and love, brother. Peace and love to the chat. Everybody listening. What's going on out there?
Everything good, man. We got Indigenous Blackman on the call, and Indigenous Blackman is going to talk to us about the how people are stealing his information, and they don't want to pay tribute. They don't want to give him no credit for none of the information he been bringing out, and he been cracking people's head with it. So, what's going on, brother? Talk to us.
Yeah, sa.neter. I mean, over the years, we all have came into different information on our own, you know what I'm saying? And we're all regurgitating information that we learn, but when you're still on my talking points, you know what I'm saying? And then you try to turn around and say that you didn't, that's what's getting me. So, people like Garfield, it ain't just them, Judah, Yara, Apostle. I called Pastor Bennett doing it here recently when I put Acts 6:1 in the chat, and he didn't know nothing. He didn't know about the Grecian thing, that scripture about the Grecians and the Hebrews arguing over the distribution of bread. He said it after the debate, and he didn't have it for the debate. And as soon as I put it in the chat, he took it straight out the chat. So I'm not just talking about I'm talking about this whole community. I put out stuff like Sesostris. Sesostris one was the one who named the land of, the southern half of Nubia, Kush, with a K. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to the Bible, Kush was Ethiopia, Mizraim was Egypt. These are the lands of the names that was given from the Bible, like the Bible says, that the lands will be named after, y'all, after the people, after, the descendants, which it is. As we still talk about Ham, Shem, Japheth, and Canaan and all that stuff. So, and they even talk, they started taking that stuff. And when I came into the community, I was talking about scientific racism and how, Blumenbach and Linnaeus started it. I said with the papal bulls, they gave it, they justified it with the papal bulls in the 1400s during the Spanish Inquisition, right? And, when Columbus on the ocean blue and all that. And then, later on, Linnaeus started classifying us, calling us lazy and lustful and things of that nature. And these things are still said about us today. You can see how the scientific racism starts with him, then goes to Blumenbach, who created the race theory, sa.neter. Blumenbach created the race theory, split humanity up into 5 different races. Linnaeus classified us, he split us into 4 races. He comes before Blumenbach, and then Blumenbach split us up into 5 different races.
Hold on for 1 minute.
and created. Yeah.
Hold on for 1 minute. Brother,
Okay.
you got to know Eric Young. You got to know that Brother Daoud passed away, brother, like 4 or 5 years ago. So when you say, when am I going to bring him on my show? Brother Daoud passed away. And as you can see right there, how many subscribers this channel have, but they only allow like 100 maybe to come in, and they block everybody else because it's not in the algorithms. And this is what they do. Because, see, they don't want to play fair when it comes to me. They want the people to think that nobody want to hear this black stuff, this knowledge. That's why they do that.
Yeah.
They want the people to think nobody wants to hear that. And they want me to give up. They want me to give up on the channel and just let it go. Because they don't want to see this. They don't want to hear this. So that's what it is, man. 189K plus 683. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Narrative how they want how they want you to see it.
Yeah. If I was talking about celebrity gossip, believe me, this would be lit. But that's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. If I was talking about celebrity gossip, if I was talking about drama, if I was talking about hip hop, believe me, they will open the floodgates to my channel because I'm helping to dumb down the people.
Right, it's controlling the narrative, sa.neter. You know, like that's another one of my talking points that I've used. You know, since I've been in the community, you create. See, and another thing that we have to talk about is how they create the problem, and then they're wicked enough to turn around. Eugenics, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they really don't know about eugenics and how, you know, sterilizations and the Negro Project and Margaret Sanger, and they're pen paling with the Nazis back and forth, and Ford and Carnegie, and all of them was mixed up in that. Woodrow Wilson in 1920, he wrote a book in 1905 about how he admired the Klan. And then when he became president in 1920, he showed The Birth of a Nation, which was a racist film with people doing blackface, you know, and white people in blackface. And he was showing it around the world saying, this is why we got to do what we do to the blacks, because this is how they act. They control the narrative that comes into America and goes out of America, brother. Mm-hmm. See?
So, how long you been doing this knowledge, Indigenous? Because you seem like a very informative brother, man. Like you know this stuff, man.
I've been talking since 2018 when I started talking over there on your channel. Every once in a while when you had to call in, once every blue moon. But I called, and then I called in on Unc and M's over there too. And that's why I like to thank Unc and Garfield for making me step up and find this information, because they was lying about the Dogon tribe. They didn't know about the Stele of Comos. They didn't even know about the Stele of Comos. You know, I heard Jabari say the other day that the Hyksos didn't have a language, sa.neter. They didn't even have their own writing style. So then, if that's the case, in the Stele of Comos, this is written by Comos, or, you know, written by Comos back then, that they intercepted a letter coming from the Hyksos going to the Nubians. Hello?
Yeah, tell them who Comos is, because a lot of people don't know.
Comos is the 17th dynasty pharaoh who started fighting against the Hyksos. That's why I brought up Sesostris. Let's take it back for a second. Sesostris was the 12th dynasty pharaoh. I believe this is Lynn talking, okay?
Right.
I believe that the first 12 dynasties were black, you know, the indigenous. And then here comes the 13th dynasty pharaohs. That's when Nubia took over, family. Okay? And then right after them, in the late 14th dynasty, here comes the Hyksos. And it was an amalgamation of all those people from Asia Minor. You know, they could have been from Turkey, you know, all down through there.
So let me ask you, Is the Canaanite people, because people keep mixing this up, is the Canaanite people really the Israelites? Are they Israelite people, the Canaanites?
I say
Well,
yes.
Go ahead, JJ. Go ahead, bro.
This your show. I'm just a wingman, but I say yes. They were in the land of Canaan.
Oh,
You know.
well, Canaan is the son of Ham. Okay, Canaan is the son of Ham, and Ham's supposed to be the blackest of the blacks. Every time we talk about Ham, Ham is supposed to be our blackest of the black ancestors. So how can Canaan be white and Ham be black? The blackest of the black. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, these names will be named after the people in that lineage, coming from Noah to Ham, Shem, and Japheth, to Mizraim, Cush, Put, and Canaan, the sons of Ham. These lands were named after these people, so it's proven that the Bible has a little more significance than people want to put out. Because the Bible tells you that they was going to name them lands after themselves. You see? But Sesostris, he was the 12th dynasty pharaoh of Egypt. And him and his father started off the 12th dynasty. Okay, they were the first two pharaohs of the 12th dynasty. And Sesostris went down, named Cush, named the lower half of Nubia. He took over Nubia, named the lower half Cush. Then in the 13th dynasty, the Nubians were ruling Egypt. They took over Egypt. And then here comes the Hyksos, and, they was ruling northern Egypt and all that, from the 14th dynasty to the 17th dynasty. And then the late 17th dynasty, Komos comes in, and he starts running the Hyksos out. And then Akhmos, his brother, once he became of age, took over and completely ran the Hyksos out of Egypt. All right, and they have that Stele of Komos that tells about the battles and stuff. And then, like with the Dogon, I was telling them about how they worship the star every year, and they've been every year, and the science didn't find it out till 1976, but they put so much emphasis on science.
According to your research and study, who would you say would be one of the oldest people on the earth right now?
I really haven't done a lot of research into that area, but I would have to say the people from, this is, like I said, this is Lynn talking, but
that's why people, right? That's why
well,
would be
I'm not just going to give it to, they would be one. But also, sa.neter, you got to remember that I'm a Bible believer, so I believe in what the scripture says, unlike most of these people, pretend Bible believers out here, that everything started at the Garden of Eden. So if you believe that,
I think that
it tells about that fourth river coming out of.
I think that right there just shot down some of your credibility, brother. When you said that you are a Bible believer and you believe in the Bible.
But I made sure that you knew that this is me talking.
Right.
That's my opinion.
I got you.
So
you believe? Do you believe that life started with Abraham? With Adam and Eve.
Yes, that's what. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Oh wow!
Let me ask a question. So is it credible to think that we come from monkey chimps? Why is that credibility shot? Go ahead. Man, just answer that question for me, sir.
Me?
Yeah, do you think Yeah, I'm asking you. Do you think it's credible for a person to get in front of us with a fairy tale that somehow another species changed into another species? That is not happening today, and it never happened. What do you think about that? Go ahead, get it.
You got to remember, we came in off of space rocks. That was our spaceships, because they say that our story is a extraterrestrial story from the Bible. Well, what I like to tell you, scientifically literate people, is that your story is a, outer space story, because you came in on space rocks as single-celled organisms. And also, isms, all these isms, any ism goes back to collectivism, which means that, for the collective, the individual should be offed if need be. In the worst case scenario, should be off for the betterment of the group. That's what all these isms are. And when you follow in isms, you're taking isms, trying to replace wisdom with your BS isms. But that's all they got. Nationalism, capitalism, socialism, all of that. Any ism goes back to collectivism. Right. Is what we're in America.
Let me ask you, JJ. JJ, you making mistakes. You making errors, JJ.
Oh, go ahead.
Dinka. Number one, nobody says that we come from monkeys, brother. I don't know why y'all continue to say that when we go over it every day and tell you about a common ancestor.
Okay.
We don't come from the same damn monkey. You can look at a chimpanzee and humans and put our DNA close together, and you'll see the DNA is like damn near right there with them.
Okay, let me answer that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we have one of our mainstays in our community. No, we have a guy named Q. He just won a debate.
Yeah, all right, Cube says that. Yeah.
Now, yes, Cube says that we come from monkeys. And the teacher of this is Charles Darwin. Go ahead and tell them what the quote that Charles Darwin said. Go ahead.
Charles Darwin. See, they can't even quote Charles Darwin right, sa.neter. Charles Darwin says, "Whilst, however, well behaved, man is but a monkey shaved." And he also questions if evolution is a religion, because it's a belief and a theory, because a theory is nothing more than a belief. And ism is a belief and a theory at the same time, according to Merriam-Webster. Okay? So the only thing you're doing is throwing out beliefs and theories, and you're sitting here tap dancing for dead oppressors who are the authors of taxonomy, who are the authors of classification, who are the authors of the monkey-minded nonsense like Linnaeus and Blumenbach, who created race. Again, I'm going to say it one more time for the layman. Blumenbach created race. So when you out here talking about races, you just regurgitating his stuff. I don't want to get mad, but I'm telling you. Like that, they were using our skins for. They were using our skins, slave skins, for leather. What about the Moor skeleton, in Harvard? What about Adabango when he was in? They had him in a cell with the monkey.
Indigenous, check this out. Do you agree that we at least have a common ancestor? Between
I can't hear you, brothers.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
The phone's a mess.
Yo?
Now I can.
All right. Do you agree that we do have a common ancestor? With the
I do.
So how do you explain with the chimpanzee? You don't believe that?
No. That I'm a Bible believer, and I believe the scriptures. Then how could I come from a monkey?
Do you agree with DNA,
scriptures?
or you don't agree with DNA?
Oh Oh yeah, I agree with DNA, but I
Okay,
mean, I've done
okay,
presentations. Hold
okay.
up, wait a minute. You got to understand that at the beginning of DNA, there is Charles Darwin, and then right after him comes they weaponize Mendel's theory.
Get
They
Charles
just
Darwin
weaponize
out
it.
your mind right quick.
No,
Because
I'm
Charles
telling you
Darwin
the
get
origins
this.
of this. I'm
But
telling you who started it.
listen,
Who started
listen. Hold
the
on.
origins?
Hold on. How do you explain that humans and chimpanzees, 95, close to 90% of the same? The only thing that separate us is 2% DNA, brother. How do you explain that if we don't have a common ancestor?
Okay.
You can go and Google
Now,
it, type it up, and look it up.
No, I don't need to because I've had these conversations. I'm just coming off the top of my head, and that comment. There's no way. There's no way that you have time enough for all that. And even I've showed videos where the top scientists were saying that there's not enough time for this. They said that listen, sa.neter, they said that a four-legged mammal. This is whale evolution, okay?
Right.
They said that a four-legged mammal ran and jumped into the ocean and evolved into a whale. They said it happened in 7 million years. They said that ain't even time enough for the scientists who are in this field said that ain't even time enough for the four-legged mammal to grow a tail fluke, let alone the lungs to be able to dive and eat underwater and have birth and do all that underwater. Come on, man. Are you serious? And like I said, I'm telling people we come from bananas and all this other stuff. This craziness. There's not enough time for all this to happen. That's why they keep on adding time to evolution. And they know that science cannot speak in absolutes because a new find could change everything tomorrow, like naphtha Playa did.
Do you believe in evolution?
Do I believe in evolution?
Yes.
Yes, I believe that this lie is evolving. And it has been evolving ever since it's been put out here.
That's the evolution, son.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's evolving is this lie.
So you don't believe in
the big
evolution?
lie, the big lie was said, keep on telling the story over and over until everybody starts.
Now, you never answered my question. I asked you, how do you explain the difference of 2% DNA from humans? Other than that, the chimpanzee's got 98%. Hold on. The chimp got 98% DNA as humans. The only thing that's off is the 2%. Now, you said you believe in DNA. How do you explain that, brother?
I believe that we share a creator. Okay, and to make fingers, hair, face, eyes in the same position, nose in the same position, you share the same creator, and he uses the same thing to make them as he did us. The plants, the animals. Man is made up of every element on this earth. And life and earth gives life. When you plant a seed, earth gives life. Just like when they say Adam came from the dirt, so does the plants, the trees, so does the vegetation, so does the food that we eat. See? So we share a common creator. So that makeup that makes us up, it makes us similar with the 5 fingers, our eyes in the same position, our nose in the same position, our mouth in the same position. Our whole makeup is the same.
So if you believe that Adam came from the dirt, why are we not coming from the dirt now?
Because the creator made them in the beginning. That was the original model. So he didn't need to bring man up out of the dirt no more, because he meant man and woman to create, to be fruitful and multiply according to the Bible. Now, I don't know what these other cultures teach about it, but let me just say this: humans and monkeys, they differ. They differ in physical and cognitive traits. Humans are bipedal, have larger brains, more complex language, and advanced cognitive abilities like abstract thought and tool making. which is not as developed in monkeys. Monkeys, on the other hand, typically walk on all fours. We're not walking on all fours. I mean, like I say, there is a creator, a power that created everything. I believe everything was created at once. There was no evolution. This just created. It had to. If this power, whether you want to call him Yahweh, Marie, or whatever our ancestors called him, created everything at once. Now you can adapt to different situations. But there is not one species that's going to turn into another species. A monkey is not going to turn into a man. A dog is not going to turn into a cat.
See, there you go again. No one said that a monkey is going to turn into the man, brother.
Okay, listen, son. Are you
going back there again? Like
wait a minute. I think you're defeating evolution.
Darwin said.
We're not talking about Darwin, though.
That's his theory, sa.neter. He's the author of that theory.
I'm not talking about his theory, brother. I'm talking about ancestors, the same common ancestor. That's what I'm talking about, not Darwin's theory.
All right. Well, let me answer that real quick. I'm gonna let him get back in. Okay, so let me ask you this, sa.neter. Why we can find every bone and skeleton on this planet, but for some reason this missing answer, this transitional ancestor can nowhere be found? That is a theory. That is not absolute. Wow. Look. You let Unc rock yesterday, didn't interrupt me. Come on, son.
I'm asking you, said what can't be found?
Okay. Where's the missing ancestor, sa.neter? Can you tell me?
You said where's the missing ancestor?
Yeah. Who's the in-between? The transitional person.
You are the missing ancestor. You are the ancestors, brother, the common ancestor.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
The common ancestor, chimps evolved into what they are, dogs evolved into what they are. Every living creature comes from a common ancestor. Every living creature that's breathing, that you have lungs and you breathing, it all come from one source, brother.
Okay, so where's...
You don't hear us saying, hold up. You don't hear us saying we are dogs, even though they come from a common ancestor. You don't hear us saying we are cats. It all comes from a common ancestor. Remember, I demonstrated to you where you have the whole, the origin, and it splits off, and one go right, left, and it splits off, and one go left and right, and it splits, and it continue to split. And then from them splits becomes something else, become the dog family, the wolf family, becomes the animal nature. That's what I'm telling you. It don't mean that we come from them. It means that we come from the same origin which created them. You understand?
Not really, but let me just kind of understand, okay? I'm gonna let you get it. I'm gonna let you get it because it's more of your story. This your debut. Go ahead.
Well, Lucy got some explaining to do, sa.neter, because science tells you that we come from Lucy. Lucy got some explaining to do. Lucy's hip bones were reconstructed to make it look like she could walk upright. All right, now, we hear about these skeletons. Now, Lucy, science tells you that we come from common ancestors. Now, Lucy got some explaining to do, Ricky. And not only that, but Piltdown Man had a human skull with a monkey jaw added to it, and they're trying to pass that off as real science, just like they're trying to pass off all of this, deviltry going against the Bible, so they don't have to say that they came from black people.
Yeah, let me get in. Now, the idea... No, this is part of Lucy. Come on, sir. You can do this to bro. You want to ask another question? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
A question from the chat.
No, we don't care about this.
What did the ancestor look like? The common ancestor look like? Nobody knows, brother. That is a dumb question, Patterson. Okay. No one was here to see the common ancestor because, first of all, the common ancestor split up and broke off and went all different places. Animals was here before us, right?
Okay.
Lions was here before us, so how would we know what it looked like?
Yep.
Come on.
Okay, can I get in? Let me get in. I just want 1 minute to get in. Now, the idea of the Australopithecus Africanus fossil is known as Lucy is definitively debunked as a human ancestor. It is a contested claim often promoted by the creation source. Arguments against Lucy as a human ancestor often center on anatomical differences, alternative interpretations Let me read this. Some argue that Lucy's skeletal features, particularly here, her knee joints and certain aspects of her pelvis, are not human-like. This is what they got to deal with, sa.neter. They putting pieces together with this Lucy. We do not come from no Lucy. And like he said, they added different parts to her to fit their narrative. This was
who said we come from Lucy, brother? Who said that?
Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna
Science numerous times.
JJ?
Well, I mean, you can't even let us. If you let us get the information out, then ask questions, that would be better. Don't you think that would be better for the people?
Okay,
wait, no, hold on. Okay. Who's this guy right here?
That's Asar 7.
Yeah, okay. Well, so we don't need you up here right now.
All right, you don't want him up here right now?
No, not yet. No, he's a distraction.
Not yet, Asar, not yet.
You get beat up. Go ahead, Indigenous.
Yeah, well, science tells you that, sa.neter, and just like I said, Charles Darwin tells you in his quote, he says, "Whilst, however, well-behaved, man is but a monkey shaved." Now, y'all going against the creator of this theory, who started the book. It's called "The Origins of Species by Means of Natural Selection or Preservation of Favored Races." Now, who's the one preserving the races? It would be Darwin, because he's the one with this theory. Okay, so this is the racist, and then he's telling us that we're less than, we're unfit, and we should be exterminated within the next few generations. And then Galton puts it into practice through eugenics.
Facts.
See? Everybody needs to start doing their research on eugenics and finding out exactly what eugenics is, because this is a problem. We can't put it together like that. Y'all can't start at the beginning of this scientific racism and go to the end. I can bring it straight to you to this day. When I'm talking about population control and Malthus, who is that? That sounds just like Bill Gates.
Facts.
When I'm talking about all for you and all, I'm talking about Francis Galton, Darwin's cousin, who created eugenics.
Facts.
And then they sit up here and act like this stuff is real, and it has some type of weight, and they should still be talking about it. We should already ran them out of the community with this nonsense years ago.
Hold up, just tell them about how the beginning of this, there wasn't even no science. They're backing it up. Go ahead and tell them about that. How they come up with this taxonomy of us being apes and
well, I mean, the DNA wasn't mapped until 1950 AD. So we talking about DNA from back then. DNA wasn't mapped till 1950. What y'all talking about, man? Y'all need to wake up. The only thing is evolving is this lie that's being told to you, telling you who you are, how to live, and where you come from.
And the creators of this,
hold up, and then we were like what Freud would say. He would say that we would revert back to animals if we didn't have a large amount of help from them, the oppressor. Yeah, that's what you're dealing with.
Where they got the black man ranked at?
I just don't get it, man. Like, I mean, we supposed to be intelligent beings, right? And this is what I mean by that religion really messed us up, Indigenous. You can't even think right outside the box. How you don't go with evolution, and the reason why we still alive today is because of evolution. It's because the doctors had taken a pill, a medicine, and evolved it where it can cure. Now they talk about they found the cure for cancer. Did you know that, brother? And did you know how long it took them to do that? Go and take that up. Yeah, I was watching the news the other day, and I was like, damn, I was happy for that, because they was talking about prostate cancer. And brothers are dying because of prostate cancer. And when I heard that on the news, I was like, God damn, I felt good because of that, you know? And go and look it up right now, bro. Can you not believe in evolution, man? I don't get y'all, dude. Because I'm gonna tell you why. It's because that Jesus crack pipe got y'all, mom. Got y'all, bro.
Hold on, but you can't even put that on me. Hold on, let me get it. Hold on. No, we got to slow this down for real. We both all talking at once. I see DZ. I see a bunch of people out there that think we evolved from monkeys, but they cannot tell us this missing answer.
That we evolved.
Bro. Let me see some money so I can talk. Can I do that? Wait, give me your cash up.
Shoot
Give me your cash up. God damn. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, man. I mean, why can't we? Let me ask you this: anybody in the audience, not you, son, if we were so closely related to these apes and they're a family, why ain't these apes still changing?
Why do you think they call us great apes, Mandika?
Okay,
Why do we have the title great apes?
I'm going to tell you why.
Go ahead, tell me why.
Because there was this guy, what's his name? Colonization, who came up with the taxonomy. Go ahead and get into it, Indigenous. Well, everybody should know this. DZ, you don't know this? Go ahead and explain it, Indigenous.
That's what I tell you. Hey, one of the monkeys was called Lucifer. Hey, look, he had 4 monkeys up on the screen in his book, and one of them was Lucifer. Come on, yo. I'm taking you to the origins of this stuff.
Yeah, go ahead. Now tell them before that. Well, see, when they came up with all these theories, there was no science backing any of this. This was pseudoscience. That's why I say pseudo-scientific racism is what they wanted to prove that they were better than us. They were more intelligent than us, more smarter than us, but they had no science to back this up. Before him, what were they calling us? Before this guy came up with this taxonomy, what were they calling us? So we're gonna listen to this guy. And as a matter of fact, was he even educated, Indigenous? This guy that came up with this.
Man, go ahead. There wasn't no science behind it. It was the Age of Enlightenment. They was making up stuff, man. It's during the Age of Enlightenment. That's when it was. They was making up stuff. No science behind it. I think Darwin met one monkey, a great ape, and it was an orangutan. I mean, come on, yo. Like I said, you had Marion Sims, when he was back there, how they got gynecology. He was doing, I heard Nepal talk about that, where he was doing, surgeries on the slaves. And the other doctors left because it was so barbaric. And then he had 3 slaves there, and then 2 of them would hold the one down who he was operating on. And that's the father of gynecology. See, these are the people that just like I said, if I'm giving you the origins, if I'm telling you who started classifying us, see, classifications, taxonomy, all of that. We come from monkeys. That is Linnaeus. They didn't even know that. They're saying it was Darwin. They can't put this on the timeline right. They don't know what they're talking about. They just regurgitate. I see Cedric out there. He said that I'm crazy. I see you out there, Cedric. But I've already caught you, use regurgitating my talking point. So if I'm crazy, what does that make you for regurgitating a crazy man? You're a hard foot having coconut eating. You better leave me alone, Cedric, because I'm going to bust you up.
Hey, hold on. So let me read this real quick, because this is what the Unc West and them teach. See, pseudo-scientific racism is a term used to describe the use of flawed and distorted scientific methods and theories, DZ, to support racist beliefs, particularly claims of inherent superiority or inferiority of certain racial groups. These people like the Charles Darwins, the Linnaeus, all these ones that Unc West get up here and act like he's just the godfather of the information. And Unc said that he taught us that we were. I mean, that had to be the dumbest thing I heard in my life. Now watch this. See, these claims is a form of scientific racism, which is an organized system that miscues science to promote false scientific beliefs. And this is what the pseudo killers do. And they rather go against the ancestors and our people in Africa, from north, south, east, west Africa. All of them believe in something greater than themselves. They're not calling themselves monkeys. Now, the key characteristics is misuse of science. Pseudo-scientific racism cherry picks or twists scientific findings to fit pre-existing racist agenda. And I wish anybody would get up here and try to debunk that. You're going to get beat up today. I guarantee you. Unc West won't show up. DZ, any of y'all in this audience that's pushing this to our community. Now, creating and racial categories. Here we go right here, y'all. It often proposes, and shout out to my queen, Jenny Hayes. I see you, baby. Now watch this. It often proposes the existence of distinct biological determined races. You hear that? Biological determined race. This is what Unc is going with. Man, you will get beat up on.
Mandika.
Come on, sa.neter. With inherent differences in capabilities. They're teaching that we have differences in capabilities or intelligence, sa.neter. This is what this has to get out. We have to put this out in our community. I know cognitive dissonance is very, very well in this community because y'all been listening to the same rhetoric for the goddamn last 20 years, sa.neter been on TV. Now watch this. I'm gonna say one more and I'm gonna let him get back in. The justification of a discrimination. This is the justification of discrimination. They want to justify why they're being discriminated racial. These false claims, Unc West, Juju, are then used to weaponize and justify discrimination and oppression and exploitation. Go ahead.
The Papal Bulls did. Like the Papal Bulls. Same thing, the Papal Bulls. This is an ongoing lie. They've been telling this lie to us forever. They trying to keep us in division is one of their main weapons. Division is an age-old weapon. You just like the lines on the map. You know how the lines on the map divide?
Yeah, let me
That's
ask
the same thing. It ain't no different, man.
Let me ask you, JJ. What does a caterpillar evolve into, JJ? Because you don't believe in that, right? You don't believe in that. What does a caterpillar evolve into? Mandika, where you at? Oh, Mandika running. So I ask you, Indigenous, what does a caterpillar evolve into?
I guess you could say a butterfly, but that's just a life stage. That's not evolution.
I know. Dean said that's not evolution. I'm trying to catch him out there on some shit. I was going to go to
we talking about,
yo, Deez, chill, brother. Chill, Deez.
Oh, Deez don't want this smoke. He don't want this smoke. But, like I said, adaptation is what we're dealing with. Yeah. I will agree with that part of it. You know what I'm saying? But the evolution part, nah, brother. Right. I'm telling you where these theories and these beliefs come from, sa.neter.
Yeah, let me get it. Watch this. Now, in the 19th and early
20s, on the wicked. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, hold on. Let me give them a little bit more. So they're gonna learn today, because we're getting this out of our community. We don't need them to telling us we this, we that. We already knew who we was before they even came into existence. They came late. Now, 19th and early 20th centuries. Scientific racism, Unc West, included its pseudo-scientific forms, gained traction during the 19th and 20th century, often linked to colonialism and slavery. How about craniometry? Explain examples including measurements of skulls or head bumps. There's no science that back that up. This is pseudoscience to supposedly prove racial differences in intelligence and personality. Now here goes Unc's favorite, y'all. Social Darwinism.
Craniometry, JJ. Tell them who created craniometry first, JJ.
Was it Malthus?
Blumenbach.
Oh, Blumenbach. Okay, go ahead and talk about Blumenbach, and then I'm gonna go into social Darwinism. Go ahead. The one who separated humanity, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, the man who separated humanity into 5 different races, weaponized the term race, created the term Caucasian, all right, and craniometry. There was also a thing called phrenology at the time also. And I think that was Francis Gall, Gull, who created that. I'm giving you the origins. Explain what that is. You're going too fast. Explain what phrenology is. Explain what that is.
The studying of the skulls. Studying skulls, phrenology too, just the study of the skull, they're studying the skulls, different parts of it, different aspects of it, but they're studying the skulls. That's all they're doing. And these are the people who's creating this stuff. That's why I'm giving you these names. I'm not wasting my time throwing names out here. And it's not my fault that you can't keep up because you've been believing these lies for so many years that the lie that has been told, just like Hitler said, tell the lie over and over and over again, and everybody starts believing, and that's what's happening right now. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
Watch this. Now, social Darwinism, ladies and gentlemen, this is Unc's favorite. This is Unc's master teacher. See, the misapplication of Darwin theories of evolution suggesting that some races were more evolved Think about that. This is what Darwinism is. Some races are more evolved. Now that is a problem, and thus is inherent. And thus, when one race is more evolved, they say that they're more superior. And then once we get past social Darwinism, the next step they come with eugenics. Now, it's a movement promoting selective breeding to improve the human race based on the subjective notions of desirable traits.
Selective breeding. That means the one that they choose to see fit to mate. That is what selective breeding means. Like I've taught y'all for years. That is selective. That's what that means. They're picking and choosing who does the breeding. Like the title, on the origins of species by means of natural selection or preservation of favored races. Who's preserving the favored races?
Yeah.
The same thing, and it's in his title. That's why he had to take that part out and just call it On the Origins of Species. Sit down. Go ahead, JJ.
You want more? Now, see, I told y'all, man, we didn't come to play with y'all. We come here to educate. And anybody who has questions, we're not going to be like Unc West and interrupt you. Because once we're going to open up the panel in a little bit, and we'll answer your questions. But y'all got to know. Give us some of those, name off some of those founding forefathers. It start off with the list and how it went to Margaret Sanger, how it started off with Malthus and all of them. Go ahead, Indigenous.
All right, first I want to answer this question. Bar Koga, you don't know nothing about genetics. I just told them that the origins of genetics started with Charles Darwin. Then they weaponized Mendel's theory because that's all he was doing was looking at pea plants and the colors of the flowers. And then Galton came in. So that is the origins of your genetics, my friend. And they didn't break down the DNA sequence until the 1950s AD. So I don't know why y'all acting like they had this information back in 1800s when these guys was making this shit up. I'm sorry, sa.neter. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Anyway, next.
So Mendel's theory, also known as the Mendelian inheritance, describes how traits are passed from parents to offspring. It's based on three key principles: the law of segregation, the law of dominance, the law of independent assortment. These principles explain how genes existing in pairs separate during reproductive and recombine to determine inherent characteristics. Go ahead and elaborate on that, family.
Well, like I said, he was just dealing with pea plants, ladies and gentlemen. If we know Mendel's work, and they weaponized that term, and they took the dominant and recessive, and then Blumenbach said that we degenerated from white. That's what Blumenbach says. Okay, now this is the clear white. The ones who created the term race put the whites on the top and the blacks on the bottom. All right. So,
what you think about that, sa.neter? What you think about that?
I'm thinking about opening up the floodgates so that y'all can get some question and answers going on.
Okay, can you give us about 5 more minutes just to go in, and then whoever wants it, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
All right.
They're gonna get it. Now, I want him to go into the beginning of scientific races, and then how it came all the way down to eugenics, and then we got Bill Gates. We got all these people. Go ahead, Indigenous.
Well, like I said, we start off with, we start off with Carl Linnaeus family. Like I said, we need to go back a little bit further in 1400s when Columbus was selling the ocean blue and all that, and they're justifying enslavement of the Africans, all right, through the papal bulls. Intercartel, there was 3 of 1953, 1993, and one other one in there. But those were the ones who gave justification to the enslavement of the Africans. And then we go to the creator who starts classifying us like animals. He classifies us right alongside with the plants and animals and everything else. And like I said, he calls us lazy. He says that we were. He said that we were
lazy, and we crave women,
lustful, lustful, and see those
What you
terms.
say about the white man, though?
You see his ideals still being presented in today. They still say the same thing about us today. All right, and then you go to Blumenbach, like I said, who created the race, who created what we call race today. He weaponized the term and changed the narrative, and he put the whites on the top and the blacks on the bottom. He was calling all blacks Ethiopians too, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you know, they was classified, all the Africans as Ethiopians. That was all. He didn't have other classifications for them. They were just Ethiopians, and they was put at the bottom of the list. And then here comes Malthus with the population control narrative, saying that we shouldn't help these poor people. We should just starve them out, and let them die because they're unfit, imbeciles, and idiots. And then here comes Darwin promoting the same narrative, saying that we were unfit, we were less than, and then eventually we was going to be exterminated. And then Galton puts all of these theories and lies into action through eugenics. Hitler
You know what eugenics is
over there using the eugenics. But Hitler is over there using the American eugenics model. Y'all say it was Hitler when you say, oh, Hitler is no, it started here in America with Francis Galton, the cousin of Charles Darwin, first cousin. And Margaret Singer, who all of this birth control, which unbiased, he said, oh, well, I want to have a debate about birth control. How can you have a debate about birth control and not bring up Margaret Singer? She was.
I'll keep going. Now, in 1859. Okay, go ahead. All right. We'll get it back on. We're finna bust your head. Yeah. That's like I say, ladies and gentlemen. These people, why do we need to even listen to any? You got to mute your mic, family.
Oh, okay.
They can hear your conversation.
All right.
Okay. Now, here's in 1859, Charles Darwin published his book, The Origin of Species, and says that the races were humans from different points of evolution.
You're just regurgitating.
Now, go ahead, family. You back. Go ahead.
If you're calling yourself a nationalist, that's what, it started with the Klan and all them. They started the nationalist movements in America. So you saying I'm a black nationalist. The only thing you're doing is mimicking them. Using the same talking points and showing that you don't even understand the terms that you're using. It's like I said, when you're dealing with these, anytime you add ism to the end of the word, it means it's a belief in the theory at the same time. So that's what you're dealing with, a bunch of beliefs and theories from the oppressor who wants to keep everybody divided through race, who wants to control you financially. We're all debt slaves today.
So
under the Rothschild Central Bank.
Let me take you back.
Can I say this real quick? I'm going to say this one thing. I want to say this one thing, real quick, please. The Rothschild Central Bank, there's only 3 countries, Iran, South Korea, and Cuba, or North Korea and Cuba, that are not under the Rothschild Central Bank. That's when I did that presentation in 2020. That was the stats then. I'm not sure about now, but then it was only 3 countries. So that's showing you are debt slaves. Anytime you sign a contract to work for someone, that is the definition of indentured servitude. You become an indentured servant as soon as you sign that contract, because the definition of indentured is to sign a contract to work for someone for a certain amount of time.
Okay, I want to ask you.
So you act like
I want to harken back.
Prisons in jail.
You are
prisons of slavery.
You are a Hebrew Israelite. Let me go back.
No, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite.
Are you one of those Israelites that believe that salvation is only for Yah, for Israel?
No, sa.neter. I've beat a couple of these Hebrew Israelites up on that. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite.
Where do the Africans fit in your story, in your Bible?
Well, the Garden of Eden, right there.
The Bible.
Hold on, JJ. I'm talking to him. You're not an Israelite no more.
He's a Christian.
They're all throughout the Bible. Like I said, the Garden of Eden tells you that the 4th river flowed down, as far as Ethiopia, out of the Garden of Eden. You have Egypt all throughout the Bible, people running in or running from Egypt.
Do you believe that Africans are cursed because of the Ham story?
No.
No, I believe.
Yo, Jay,
I believe humanity.
Mandika, man, chill, brother. Go ahead, Indigenous.
No, sa.neter. That's something that I heard Judah and them saying over there all the time. No, I don't believe that at all. No. You know, and when the scripture tells you, do not despise an Edomite because he is your brother. Do not despise an Egyptian because you lived in his land for a certain amount of time. I go back to that scripture when you're talking about, because all of these people are kin in one way or the other.
So do you believe?
You know, we have wicked people.
So you believe that all life began with Adam and Eve, yes?
Yes.
And you believe that a woman came from a man, yes?
Yes.
So how come women are not coming from men today? How come it's the opposite?
Because
when you look at reality, you see that there's a womb. A man don't have no womb, and you can see, you know. So why you don't see men creating women today coming from his rib?
We're talking about the Bible. We're talking about scientific racism.
Hold on.
Because God gave Eve those reproductive organs, and also once she transgressed, he told her that you was going to have labor pains and all this stuff was going to be on you because of your transgression and eating that apple.
So we don't want to talk about the Bible. We want to talk about scientific racism. Why are you trying to get them a pass? And look at this right here.
Hold up. I hear the comedic people saying, "Oh well, the Earth is the womb." Sa.neter, who was it? Geb? Is Geb the Earth? Geb's the Earth, and then Nut is like the sun and stars, right?
Right.
Am I correct on that?
Yep.
So how is the Earth feminine or a female?
But hold on. I want to get back to my question.
Hold on. If you believe the Kemet story,
I don't. Listen. I know that's a mythological story. I want to get back. Hold on. How many ribs does a man have? How many ribs?
We're not talking about the Bible.
Be quiet, Mandika. Be quiet. I'm asking Indigenous. This is your teacher, right? He should be able to answer this. He can Google it if he wants.
He's not my teacher.
He can Google it if he wants to. I don't care. How many ribs does a man have?
I'm not sure, sa.neter.
24. 12 and 12, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
How come man is not being born with 23 ribs, being that a rib was taken from a man to make a woman? How come he is still being born with 24 ribs?
That I can't explain. I can't explain everything for God.
Can I answer that?
I can't talk for another man, so let alone trying to talk for God. You know what I'm saying?
Answer it, JJ.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the people in the community, they cannot get away from the Bible, but they want to get away from the Bible, but they can't get away from the Bible. We're talking about scientific racism that the pseudo killers is pushing in this community. See, so around the same time, there were some scientists who were proponents of polygenicism, which suggests that the races were actually completely different species. Different species, y'all. This contradicts the religious views where God created all humans. So they would have to get in front of us and say that the white people are a different species, the Chinese is a different species, the African Americans are a different species. They're not going to be able to do it. This theory has been disproven. See, so we don't want to talk about the Bible. We're putting these guys on the hot seat. We talk about the There we go.
And Nepal said you was cooking with the eugenics talk. So I think she wants to go back to that.
Right, but Nepal, you see how he keep trying to get us to talk about the Bible?
My sister Nepal was with me over there on Unbiased years ago when I did my presentation, and she was on the same thing, so she had some good talking points on that too. We were supposed to beat up Unbiased and unking them over there on Unbiased's show, so she knows what's going on. She knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So let's get back to eugenics. Can we do it, or something you want to talk about the Bible?
Yeah, go ahead. Get back to
Go
what
ahead,
you
JJ.
Get back to it, man. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Okay, see, around the same time, there were scientists that.
Let me say this real quick. JJ, hold on. Stop 1 second. Abraham.
I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. You got it. I'll be right back.
No, don't leave. I just wanted to say the promises started with Abraham, sa.neter. They wrong. They say it started with Israel. The promises started with Abraham. You know, and he came and went into the those lands and was given those lands. And boy, say bought the land from Shechem and all this. Shechem, the wild man who raped his sister, according to the scriptures. I'm sorry, rape. But all of that. All of that came from Abraham. The first, he was Hebrew. They say Abraham was Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So then Israel is nothing more than a nationality. So all you out here calling yourself Israelites, your nationality is American. You ain't Israel. That's a nationality.
That's right. Go ahead.
Okay?
Go ahead.
That's a nationality. Be Hebrew like your father Abraham was and have the faith that he had.
Woo! Go ahead.
You see what I'm saying, sa.neter? Like I said, I don't play with the scriptures when it comes to the scriptures, and you got a lot of people out here regurgitating, like my Council of Jerusalem argument. When they talking about Paul like a dog, but why in the Council of Jerusalem did Paul and Barnabas get the right-handed fellowship from James, John, and Cephas?
Bro, you let them trick you into talking about the Bible. Now let me get back to this. Now,
well, I wanted to bring up a little bit. My bad. Go ahead.
Bro, come on, man. Don't let them fool you. In 1859, Charles Darwin published this book, The Origins of Species, suggests that the races were humans from different points of evolution, and Caucasian people were more evolved. A black man in the audience, Mexican man in the audience, Chinese man in the audience. Do y'all really believe that the white man was more evolved than us? But this is Uncle Wes's master teacher and Juju's master teacher. We're not going to let you do it. See, now, like I told you, you cannot prove that the Caucasian was more involved than us. Where's the great ancient great dynasties? They building pyramids and science and mathematics. They Johnny come lately, but we got these Uncle Wes's that think he's so educated they can barely say 3 syllables. And you want to get up here and discredit the audience when they ask you questions like you're so much intelligent, but you're the one that's pushing racism. You're the one that's racist, bro. You hate yourself. What's wrong with being black? What's wrong with it, Unc? But see, like I said, they don't want to deal with this. And like I said, this would lead to eugenics. In the 20th century, the most...
No smoke.
Right. They don't want it. Look. In the 20th century, the most glaring example of scientific racism comes from Nazi Germany, like he said. They promoted the eugenics movement, which advocates for improving human species through selective reproduction of only those with desirable traits. Desirable traits. Go ahead, man. Get into it. I'm gonna take a little break because this is your show. I'm just the wingman. I'm the Debo. I'm protected. Anybody come up here, you're gonna get it. Go ahead, Indigenous.
Well, it's still being passed down through, Galton. Galton was the one who started. So it's not the Nazis. It's Francis Galton, the first cousin of Charles Darwin. And Margaret Singer's back in Margaret Singer's first clinic was in Brownsville, New York, in 1916. So if the Nazis didn't jump off until 1939 or something like that, I think 1916 comes before, don't you? I think the invention of eugenics, as we know it today, came before Hitler. Hitler was admiring America's eugenics programs, and Margaret Sanger was 10 times back and forth with them. The Americas, saying how good the Nazis are doing, and they need to implement their programs. And the Nazis are giving America credit for all this. Ford, Carnegie, and Rockefeller, and all them, all involved in eugenics and anti-Semitism and stuff. This is what you're dealing with, and these are the origins. These are the people who start off this wickedry. These are names coming from not just the scientific realm, but I even talked about Woodrow Wilson in the 1920s, how he was a proponent or an advocate for the KKK, and allowed all this wickedry to come around and come in to America at that time. Told you Margaret Sanger's first clinic was 1916. He took office in 1913. The Federal Reserve was set up under him too. So now I just went to a president for you and show you how that racism played over into his field. So we're not just dealing with science, we're dealing with politics, we're dealing with, you know, your school systems. Yale, Harvard, and all them, they profited highly off of slavery. Georgetown, oh, you can look it up now. Georgetown is apologizing for their role in slavery. They was all making big money off of slavery. Darwin and Galton, them too. And then once they acted like they was going against it, after they made all that money off of it.
Let me get in, family. Let me get in. Now look at this, y'all. Let me give you a little bit of history of scientific racism. West. Because your favorite guy that you every time he come on here, you know he put up this Charles Darwin book. That's his Bible. But did he not realize that they're teaching that Caucasians were more evolved than us? That is a problem to teach you're giving out misinformation, bro. That is outdated information. Charles Darwin, all of them.
No, I'm saying, who said that Caucasians was more evolved than us? Don't tell me the pseudo killer said that.
Wait, no. Did you just hear me read what? Okay, let me read it to you again, bro.
Yeah.
This is all right. Come on, man, because this is important. We can't just skim over this. Now, I just read it to you. Let me get back to it. We're not gonna do this today. Y'all come up here and ask all the questions you want, and you're gonna get your head bust. We ain't talking about no Bible today. Now, here it is right here. I thought you heard me when I said it the first time, so I'm gonna say it again. Scientific racism is co-opting of scientific authority to justify racial inequality. Throughout history, people have used pseudoscience and biased social studies to try to prove that the white race has biological superiority over other races. Now, I gave you the name of the guy. Let me go back to that page. Okay, I ain't on that page no more. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so now watch this. Now I'm gonna give you a little history of it. I'm gonna let Indigenous Blackman come back on here. All right. Now the history of scientific racism, ladies and gentlemen. Racial division in science can be traced back all the way to the 17th and 18th century, where scientists like Carl Linnaeus, John Frederick Blumenbach wrote about the various races of men and what's to differentiate them. Right? These observations, listen to this, of racial differences were not suggested to promote racial superiority. However, in fact, both scientists argue that, that all of them promoted unity rather than discrimination, which is a lie. How can you preach unity and you got one putting one over the other? It was in the 1800s that some scientists began to propose that they had evidence to prove that some races were biologically predetermined to be more mentally capable. Oh my God. Did y'all hear this? DZ, while you're in the audience, you better come up here and explain this. sa.neter, you better come up here and explain this. Let me say you this, sa.neter. I heard you yesterday say, well, they know how to get to JJ because he's emotional and they can just interrupt him and that's how you get to him. Well, guess what, sir? That's in a discussion. I don't really do discussions. I don't shadow box. I get in the ring, I debate. And that's when JJ Cook. Now let's keep it going. Now look at this. Scientific racism in the 19th century, ladies and gentlemen. Franz Joseph Gall developed cranioscopy, which is later renamed phrenology. Now, this is pseudoscience, y'all. But why don't we examine these people that's coming up with these ideologies? Because guess what? If you want to sit up here and use these guys to be as your teachers, then you're degrading yourself. You hear me? Because they got you at the bottom.
Let me add this. The Chronicles.
Bottom to the bottom. Now you hear? Go ahead.
Yeah, you hear me, JJ?
Yeah, Cook. Go ahead, Cook.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Cook.
When he's talking about phrenology, I told you who created craniometry. That's Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. Okay, so now when I'm telling you who created phrenology, these are the origins of these things. These are the origins of these things, okay? And the Chronicles of the Discovery of Guinea, the Chronicles of the Discovery and Conquest of Guinea, I'm sorry, y'all. And that was a book written in 1453, ladies and gentlemen, by Gomez de Zorara, Gomez de Zorara, and he's one of the main contributors of the invention of race as a concept or theory. Okay, created the term African race in Lagos. Okay, that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
All right, and then this is around the same time as these papal bulls. See, the Verses was written in 1452. That's one that goes with the transatlantic slave trade. Then you have Roman Pontifex, which comes in 1455.
We're not ready.
All right, 3 years later. And then in Inter Cartera, Pope Alexander VI in 1498. That's the one y'all talk about. But there's three of them that justified this wicketry. And here's the beginning of your lie, just like I said, created the term African race in Lagos, Gomez de Zora in 1453, and then your Catholic Church, who calls themselves Christians, is enslaving people and doing all this wicketry and throwing Mary in front of Jesus. No different than Islam, taken from the Bible, but putting Jesus down when Jesus is all up in your scripture.
Look, don't give them no opportunity to talk about the Bible, bro. Now watch this. I'm gonna answer Sonetter's question. He said, "Who said that?" Nah, I found it. This is Uncle West master teacher and Juju master teacher and all the pseudo killers. We pseudo killers. See? Now, in 1859, DC said we don't understand that science has evolved. Okay, we know that different things change in science, DZ. But when you keep getting up here talking about Charles Darwin and he taught us that we were Africans, he taught us that we were from the motherland. This is misinformation, ladies and gentlemen. Now watch this. Here go your answer to your question.
Darwin told us that we came from the motherland. That was what Uncle said.
How about fell out?
You wouldn't know.
Right. What is this? This is comedy hour? Hold on, let me get him. Now listen to this. This is your master teacher. Oh yeah, I like you said you're the Lions Den champion, but bro, watch this. In 1859, Sa.neter, remember you asked who said this? Sa.neter, you listening? Darwin published the revolutionary book, The Origin of Species, and guess what he suggested? That the races were humans from different points of evolution. And Caucasians people were most evolved, Sa.neter. This led to social Darwinism. The problem know this, which was a set of ideologies based on this evolutionary concept that justified racism and social inequality. And you want to get in front of us with this goddamn nonsense. Now we're bringing you out all this information, and you still in the audience, DZ, sitting there with the cognitive dissidents, Seven Asar, Unc West, Gilly Gucci, whatever your name, all the little crew over there who's claiming that scientific literacy. What's the definition of a scientific theory? A theory is just a theory. It may have been tested, but it don't make you guys talk in absolutes. We're not doing it.
You hit him in the head, JJ?
Yeah, get in. Go ahead.
All right, then look, y'all. We dealing with isms. See, this is what I'm telling y'all. Y'all might not understand what I'm saying. So what I'm going to do for y'all is I'm going to give y'all the definitions, all right, of ism and theory. All right. Now, an ism, these are a couple definitions. A doctrine, a distinctive doctrine, cause, or theory. Theory. A distinctive doctrine, cause, or theory. Now, listen to this one, y'all. This is the funny one. Y'all gonna like this one right here because this is exactly what they are and what they do. This is number 2 in Merriam-Webster. If you're wondering where I'm getting these definitions, it's straight out of Merriam-Webster. So if they arguing, they're gonna be arguing with Merriam-Webster. Number 2 is an oppressive and especially discriminatory attitude or belief. That's an ism. Racism divides by color. Feminism divides by sex. Nationalism divides by country. An oppressive and especially discriminatory attitude or belief. Here's 1C. Prejudice or discrimination on the basis of a specified attribute like racism or sexism. Number 3, doctrine, theory, religion, or cult, like Buddhism or Darwinism. Huh? There you go with your isms. There's your isms right there. They're telling you that they're wicked. Huh? I'm going to read that one for you again so y'all get it. An oppressive and especially discriminatory attitude or belief. Discriminatory. Prejudice, or discrimination on the basis of a specific attitude. These are the definitions of isms. Now let me go to theory for you, since they want to sound so smart and say, "Oh, well, it's not a scientific theory." Anyway, number one is superficially fair, reasonable, but often deceptively so. They're telling you it's superficially fair, reasonable, but often deceptively so. Number two, a belief, policy, or procedure proposed or followed as the basis of an action. His method is based on, this is in the sentence, his method is based on the theory that Darwin created. A hypothesis assumed for sake of argument, assumed. Hypothesis, see these words? Hypothesis, assumed for the sake of argument or investigation. An unapproved assumption, conjecture, abstract thought, speculation. Huh? And these words that they use in hypothesis, an assumption, or concession made for the sake of an argument. Here you go, concession, compromise. Other synonyms for theory: guess, hunch, construct, suspicion.
Bring it out.
You know, like I said, you got synonyms. The synonyms of construct is devise, invent, think up, produce, come up with, and this is a definition of a theory, right? This is in Merriam-Webster. Okay, so I'm telling you what it says. It's construct. Okay, so a construct. Synonyms: devise, invent, think up, produce, come up with, fabricate, cook up, trump up, hatch, ad lib, improvise, imagine.
Let me get in. Charles Darwin theory. Let me get in. Let me bounce. Go ahead.
When I say suspicion, that's what they say it is. They say that synonym of suspicion is unbelief, and that's what they're dealing with in atheism, and that's an ism too.
Oh, we're gonna get that later.
From God. That's the vision. That's the vision from God. But anyway, that's another ism for you. Now, and when we go to suspicion, it's doubt, mistrust, skepticism, distrust, disbelief, concern, anxiety, unbelief, distrustfulness, mistrustfulness.
You said skepticism, but there's
truly evolving. Hold up. Last thing. The only thing truly evolving is the lie the theory of evolution spews.
All right, let me get it. You said skepticism. We have a community of skeptics. Now watch this. Charles Darwin and the scientific racial. My foot stand on Charles Darwin's neck. Charles Darwin theory of evolution by natural selection was unfortunately intertwined with prevailing racist, y'all hear that now? Racist ideas, contributing to the framework of scientific racism. Oh my goodness. Pseudoscientific ideology. Hold on.
Go ahead. My bad, JJ. My bad, brother.
Because that's how we got to get it in. It's cool. Now, a scientific ideology that attempted to justify European DZ, 7 or SAR. Yeah, I won't smoke with both of y'all. I don't like what you said. Now listen to this, y'all. I'm going to read slow. Scientific ideology that attempted to justify European colonial dominance. And you mean to tell me, sa.neter, that we're going to keep letting this guy come up here and push this nonsense? Are you serious? Now look at this, y'all. Just to justify European colonial dominance and hierarchy and racial classification. Are you serious? Let me get one more indigenous. I'm going to let you get back in. Here go the elements of Darwin's writing were interpreted by some of who supported a racial hierarchy. This is embarrassing for us in 2025 to be pushing this nonsense, and y'all want to look at us crazy because we debunking your information. Now watch this, y'all. The interpretations of his work suggest that certain human groups were seen as more advanced than others. DZ, are they more advanced than you? I think so, because I think some of the people in your own race is more advanced than you, because you're sitting up here believing this nonsense. And I'm here to school you at the Lion's Den Academy of Education and Information. Let me bring it out. Now watch this. Applications of his ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this, y'all. Do not let Unc West and Juju and all. I love Cedric, though, but Cedric, you're going to come to the side over here. And you're going to be you're Lion's Den champion. You're going to come to this. This is realism. Now look at this. Applications of his ideas were used to justify. You like that, Hassan? To justify the biological basis for perceived differences between the human groups. Go ahead, Indigenous. We cook it. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to wear down a little bit. You know, I've been saying this for years. I'm like I said, I'm looking at the paper every once in a while, but I'm just coming from the top because I've said this so many times in so many different, shows and arenas and stuff. And I love y'all, man. I just want us to wake up, get up out of these isms, because that is what's, replacing, true wisdom with these BS isms. And I just gave you definitions of them, and I showed you that theory is, it's got negativity all behind its definition too. So, you know what I'm saying, y'all? That this is not you. If you argue with what I just said, you're arguing with Merriam-Webster, not me. The definitions. And I know that we got to question everything that we're told. That's why we need to do our due diligence, and everything that we told, go back behind it and look it up for yourself. And then that way you can add to the conversation, and you're not being fooled just following somebody's narrative to their demise, because that's what we're doing. We're following these dead oppressors' narrative to their demise. If I'm going to hell, it's going to be because of what I did, not because of what somebody told me to do or the information somebody gave me. I'm following behind some other man's information. It's going to be because of what I did wrong.
Yeah, let me get it. So you wearing out a little bit, old man. Let 7,000 teach. All right, because y'all, 7,000 get to speak, huh? You can't interrupt me. And when you get up here, you can ask us a question, but like Uncle D said, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that there's another race more advanced than you? You just give me a yes or no. That's what I want to hear. Because if you say no, then you're going against your DZ. You're going against your Charles Darwin. Now watch this, y'all. Now the influence of the contemporary idea, Darwin views were undoubtedly shaped by the prevailing social beliefs and scientific literature of his time, which is often embraced, and guess what, y'all? Which I think I'm going to say, racial stereotypes and hierarchies. Now, in conclusion, Darwin's writings provide a framework that can be interpreted to justify existing racial ideologies. Oh, my God. And you mean to tell me you're going to get in front of us, Uncle West? This is why you won't get in the ring. I don't even want to debate you. I'm going to teach you. Uncle West. Now watch this. Darwin writings provide a framework for racial ideology. Yeah, I don't care. You're not going to get around. They want just because he was racist don't mean that we can't deal with his science. You sound like a fool. Uncle West, you're not ready for me, bro. Now look at this. His ideas about natural selection were applied by others to justify I think Indigenous fell out, sir.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, thank you. So now I hope you're listening, because you come on, bro. We got to stop these guys. Because remember, these guys that he bringing in front of us are saying that we are less advanced than other races. How can we? Come on, bro. Now watch this.
Hold on, JJ. Listen.
Go ahead. Now go ahead.
Oh yeah. Sa.neter, like I said, Blumenbach was the one who said we degenerated from white, right? The original color of man was white because skulls were white. And I have not met a skull, like Dr. Joyce DeGrasse said, I have not met a skull that wasn't white on a human, okay? But that's why he said that. He said we come from white people. Now, we know that, people as dark as...
Go ahead.
Yeah, the darkest people on the planet can have all shades of people, but what happens when two white people mate? The only thing that's going to come out is another white person, so that's a big lie. We know it, and science would even tell you the same thing. Even the scientists today would tell you the same stuff. So you ain't using your head when it comes to science. Like I said, y'all just go walking behind these guys, following their narrative, and believing whatever comes out of their mouth. Letting them define you and tell you who you are, how to live, and where you come from.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
DZ, I see you in the honors, bro. you're gonna come up here and defend this. The first thing I'm gonna ask you: are these other races more advanced, evolved more than you? Because when you try to defend these Charles Darwin and these Linnaeus and all that, this is the framework of their teachings. This will make you look, but this is why I get so upset, Sa.neter. Now look at this. His ideas about natural selection were applied by others to justify what, Sa.neter? Perceived racial inequalities and the dominance. They want to dominate over certain groups. This is why I get so mad. But y'all, J.J., he emotional and all that. You got dang right. I'm passionate about this information. I'm passionate about our people. I'm passionate about teaching them the right information and not this outdated racial goddamn discrimination crap that Unc West, Juju, and Cedric, you my champion, but you too. I love you because you won the belt for your school. But I mean, Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
And Sa.neter, look, we're going to do another show really breaking down, going through
Let me get this real quick, JJ.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I think it's time to open up because Indigenous getting tired. Let's get them. Let's get the
read
people.
the comment on the board, Sa.neter.
No, that's why I put it up there. Go ahead.
Okay, you want me to read it? It says, hold up, Indigenous. It says, I agree with JJ on this point. There is a difference between white science and black science. Aaron Wilson.
Amos Wilson.
Yeah, I can't see it. Amos Wilson. What's the other one says? Something? I need my glasses. Jacob somebody.
Jacob Carruthers.
There you go. So it is another
same thing that.
Jacob
we're doing the same
talked
thing
about this.
Go ahead, Indigenous. The same thing as these wicked scientists are doing and adding color to science. When science is there's good and bad in everything. Even our Planned Parenthood, some of the things that came out of it, helped and benefited. And science, there's good and bad in science. I'm not against, it's not white and black. It's the weaponization of science to promote a narrative. That is what it is. Just like they weaponized Mendel's theory, like I said, just like I'm telling you who the origins of these things and the people who started these movements. There ain't no question on that. And you can talk till you blue in the face. There ain't no getting around that. This is all well documented, all well forced, and all that.
All right. Watch this. The legacy of scientific racism, fueled by the interpretations of Darwin's work, continued to influence scientific and social thought for many years. Now, it is crucial to critically examine this, ladies and gentlemen, the historical context and evolution of these ideas. Like he said, evolution of these ideas. That's evolution of these false ideas. And to understand the impact of Darwin's work on scientific racism and its lasting consequences. Oh, man, y'all getting beat up.
All right, we're going to open up the floor this time. The first one we got in the building is Asar. 7 Asar. What up, man? You got a question?
Peace. I got about 3 questions, if I can ask.
Yeah.
These 3 questions. First, I want to say peace to you, Sal.
Peace, brother.
And whenever I come anywhere, I say peace. I come in with peace, even to my ops. So I'm gonna say peace to you, Mandika Mali, 7,000, and peace to you, Indigenous Blackman. My first question would be, what you guys are not with the out of Africa theory. What's the name of your theory of how human beings came upon this planet?
Good question.
All right, let me get that. All right. Now, y'all see what they want to do? Now, we're talking about scientific racism. And you didn't even come up here.
Answer the question, Mandinka. He asked a good question.
Oh, okay. This is what I believe. There is a creator. I ain't got to call him Yahweh or Ula Dumari, but there's something out there greater than himself, 7 Asar, that created things on earth that we cannot understand or even begin to fathom. But you want to go with these theories and think that they're supposed to be correct. I'm going to go by this racist guy theory who put me at the bottom. Me meaning you, me being our people. So you don't look very intelligent when you get up here and you're trying to defend this nonsense. Now let me ask you a question. We got to do that yesterday when Unc did it. So let me ask you this: do you believe that Darwin's theory that some races were more evolved than others? Go ahead, you got the floor.
Do I believe that Darwin's theory that some races were evolved more than others? I don't. I can't really answer that question because I haven't really studied
Oh.
um, the evolution of how races are, so I couldn't really answer that question. Now,
Well,
can I answer my second
no,
question?
no. Let me go to the next person. You're not dominating today. You're not doing that. This is our show. We're going to Keon. Go ahead, Keon.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Let me say something. Let me say something to Seven Asar. Seven Asar, I don't know how long you've been here, bro, but I told you who created race. All right. Now in the Bible, the term race was used, but I think it's Romans 9:3. When it in the NIV. Now this is the NIV version, KJV, but but it meant a race. An athletic event. But then Johann Friedrich Blumenbach took it, weaponized the term, and put humanity into 5 different races. So why are you still regurgitating the term race when we know where it comes from? There is no reality in the term race, dividing you by color, racism, and ism, division. Okay? I've already went through all of that. It's not hard to debunk all that retarded, I'm sorry, all of that craziness. I'm giving you the origins of these things that you don't even know about.
Notice they didn't answer the question. Notice they deflected the question with going into other things because they have no answer, because they have no theory. You can go on to Keon.
Nothing.
Oh, you didn't answer the question. You running and JJ is running. That's why JJ didn't want me to continue to talk because he's scared. He don't want to hear rebuttal. He just want to talk and talk and talk. And if anyone challenges him, he's going to get emotional.
Are you still believing
as he always does?
Because you look,
so I'm trying to ask these questions, and you guys obviously don't want to answer them, right? Because you don't really want to be challenged with anything that's intelligent.
So hold on. All right, y'all gotta let the people ask the questions though. Y'all gotta. That's the toughest environment. Y'all gotta be able to take it. All right, go ahead.
I answered this question. I answered this question.
No, I don't think nobody answered this question. He talked about if you don't believe in the out of Africa theory, then what is your theory? What do you suppose? That's what he asked you.
Well, if he was here earlier, he would know.
What's the name of it? Name the theory. Name the theory.
Hey, quit talking, man. Like I said, why don't you jump out there and jump in the ring instead of sitting up on the panel asking a whole bunch of questions and holding.
We can debate this. We can debate the name of your. We can debate the name.
Let me finish.
Hold on.
Let me finish. You don't have no accountability for what you
move around.
You hold everybody else accountable for what they believe by asking a whole bunch of questions. Let's ask you some questions. Why you got the hair sitting on top of your head like your barber is Phineas's barber from Phineas and Ferb?
Oh, come on, man.
Your hairline gets behind, because I heard you talk shit about me. You said, he's scared. Oh, some people are ages. Man, you don't know me. That's the only reason why I just went at you like that. But like I said, I gave you the answer. I told you who started this. And I told you that I believe which started in the Middle East, according to the Bible, like what we call the Middle East today, and in Africa. That's my belief.
Now let me ask. Now let's go to the next person. This ain't the show for you.
We're gonna come right back to your song. All right, Keon, you up next.
Go ahead, brother Keon.
All right, Keon fell asleep. Deez, you up next, Deez.
What's up, brother Saw? What's
Peace,
up
man.
to everyone else on the panel? Go ahead. Y'all want to ask me a question first, or you want me to ask you?
No, you ask them the question.
Oh, you want me to ask them a question? All right. The first question I will ask is, let's see what's one.
Peace, DZ. Peace, brother.
Peace. Y'all laptop and cell phone, does it work? Because the people who made it might possibly be racist. So does your laptop and cell phone work?
Okay, let me get that. Let me get that, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, see what I'm saying? Now, we're not saying that inventions created by Caucasians that we won't use. We're not saying it. And a lot of these inventions were stolen from us. We just didn't get the patent, right? No, we're not saying that. What we're saying, the ideas that's coming out of these books is a problem, sir. When you're getting up here promoting Charles Darwin, I just told you that he said that Caucasians were more evolved than any other race, especially the black man. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Okay, I will answer that. I
Go ahead.
disagree with that. Now, actually, anyone who's scientifically literate disagrees with that. I don't think anyone has believed in that since like the damn 20th century. We're in the 21st century now.
Okay, so those books are outdated, right?
Those
books
books
are
are
outdated, right?
those books are a building ground for what we currently have.
Okay, well, let's talk
Everything
back and
was
forth.
not 100%.
Okay, so it's a building ground. Okay, so it's a building ground for who? Who gets the advantage of those books? Do the black man get the advantage of that book, or do the Caucasians?
Whoever reads it, you can go to school and read it and apply the
No, I didn't ask
information
you
that
that,
you have
bro. You
learned in
give
it.
me so you're
I
saying
did
that
answer
God, okay, well, hold
I
on. So
said
you said,
whoever reads
okay, that's good answer according to you. Now, so you're saying that you would read a book that's telling you that you are less advanced than another race. That you're okay with that? Yes or no?
long as there are subsequent books that came afterwards that built upon it and also corrected that.
Okay, well, what
That's
books
been
built
corrected a
upon
long
that?
time ago.
What books did these people wrote after that to prove that that was false? Go ahead, name me the book. Name me the book, sir. Or you gonna have to move along.
I don't
All
have
right,
the
next
darn
person.
book
That's it.
now.
I know it.
I
Let's
don't
go to the
have
next
the
person.
darn book
Think,
now, but anyone who has
okay, well, that's okay.
mentioned it
It's gonna be all right.
can
It's okay, sir. This is
All
our
right,
show.
hold
All right,
on,
let's go to the next person. He don't
Mandika,
have the book.
Mandika, let me run the show, brother. You
Go ahead.
gotta
All right,
allow
matter of
the
fact,
people. Hold
you're right.
on. You gotta
Huh.
allow the people to ask you a question, whether you
I did.
agree with them or not, because
Okay.
it'll be called scared and running. You don't want them to think you're running from the question.
You should have told that to Uncle yesterday when he didn't want to answer nobody's question.
All right,
Okay.
Deez, you finished?
Can I say something to DZ?
Hold on,
Yeah, go ahead.
hold on. Deez, are you finished?
Yeah, I am.
All right, go ahead, Indigenous. Indigenous?
If y'all talking to me, so I can't hear because I know this phone is kind of just like messing up.
All right, let me get it.
Yeah, we talking to you, Indigenous. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Not yet.
We can hear you, brother. Go ahead. Okay.
I can't hear you, but I see y'all waiting for me to talk. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick because it sounds like it's like robotics on it.
Everybody mute their mic, probably. Everybody mute your mic.
DZ, science, out of science, there's good and bad, brother. There's good and bad in everything. People, knowledge, all of that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going at science, and putting black or white on it like they did with race. Putting colors on things and separating us through racism, which is another one of your isms, brother. You my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we need to wake up to these terms that we're using and we don't even know the definitions of. And you know what I'm saying? We were repeating the mistakes of our ancestors and not passing on, passing on the good. We still passing on the crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go at you, DZ. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Real quick, I have one more question when I get a chance.
Go ahead. Ask your question.
Oh, thank you. We don't have to just listen to what science says on evolution. Do we not have they not provided proof and evidence that evolution is a real thing? That's my question. Have they not provided proof and evidence?
Okay. I mean, are you saying that it's absolute? Okay,
no.
That's rhetorical. That's rhetorical. Okay. So what I'm saying to you, if it's not absolute fact, I cannot just hold that as the holy grail. I'm gonna do some more research to see if this is real. To see, you know what I'm saying? So, but you guys hold this as a holy grail, and this is the know all be all. When we're telling you that the people who came up with this idea, these books, had an agenda, a DZ. That the agenda was to prove that they're more superior than the black man. That's just the bottom goddamn line, bro. And I reject that information. 7,000, the Lions Den goddamn CEO, the HOK GOAT, and Indigenous black man, the Lions Den's fact checker. We disagree with your books that y'all put in front of the community.
You got something behind you? You got something?
Yeah, somebody need to mute their mic, please.
All right, go ahead. That was Indigenous. Go ahead.
Okay. So you're saying that we can learn from these books? I reject the book that is saying that I'm at the bottom. Once I read that, the book is getting burnt, like West burnt Sean's book. I liked it that today. But I'm saying, I'm not going to pick up a book that is telling me, oh man, you know what? These people are way more superior than you, and here's why. When it's not backed by real science. That's my answer, bro. And we want our people to come out of that. I mean, you can take some good things out of some of them books, but there's more bad in it to hurtful to our people than it is good. And this is why I'm so passionate about it. This is why I represent African spirituality. 7,000 has transitioned over to Ifa. I'm going to Ifa spirituality. I would put up Ifa spirituality against atheism. Which one is better and beneficial to the black community? Anybody wants that debate, they're going to get their boots smoked. Now, who wants next? Who got next question?
All right, let me move on over. Apostle, and then we got Lex. Apostle, let's go. Unmute yourself, Apostle. Unmute yourself, Apostle.
Elder, you got to unmute yourself, champ. All right. Okay, go to Gideon then until you can get his.
Apostle, you got to go out and come back in.
No, he can unmute. Go ahead, champ.
Champ, what's up? Y'all don't hear me?
We hear you.
Okay.
We hear you, champ.
It was turned down. I'm sorry. It was turned down. Great show. Some of it confusing, but for the most part, great show. I enjoyed it, especially when y'all was talking about evolution. I know when I was in school, man, we talked a little bit about evolution and the difference between micro evolution and macro evolution. So either one of y'all could take that point of view and explain that to me as if I didn't know what micro evolution is and what macro evolution is. Explain the difference.
Okay.
Michael.
Yeah, I got it. Supposedly, micro evolution means that things evolve gradually over time. Right? Now, the macro part, I might have. I'm sorry, did you say something?
Yeah, it's the other way. Macro is over time. Micro is instant.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So what I'm saying,
micro is things that happen instantly, like the caterpillar to the butterfly.
Correct me when I'm wrong. Correct me when I'm wrong. I said, correct me when I'm wrong. I'm here to learn.
I wasn't correcting you. Go ahead.
No, you did. I had it backwards. So I'm humble enough to say I got it wrong.
That's why I did that, because you was on it. But it's a little different. Macro evolution is man evolving from a monkey, which doesn't happen. Things of that nature does not happen. They can't prove it happened. Nobody has been living long enough to see macro evolution take place. Now we can observe micro evolution. We can see it in our lifetime. Even a baby evolving to a grown-up is micro evolution. So with these people getting off and this common ancestor, I want to know, what's the common ancestor? Is it still a monkey?
What common ancestor?
Great.
That wasn't a question.
Boy, y'all be scared, man. Damn, bro.
I know, you're too knowledgeable for us right now. Let us.
I just looked up that I'm 60% same as a banana. There's another vegetable that we're like 95% origin with, and these are vegetables.
Now, you know the title of this show is about scientific racism, right? So
Yeah.
we're not going to get off track because we're going to hold them accountable to their leaders. Yeah. We're not going to talk about no Bible. We're not talking about, we're talking about the origins of this scientific racism and how they put us at the bottom. Let me ask you this, Elder.
Let me
Okay, go ahead, Tim.
because I haven't brought up the Bible, although I did
No, I'm
want to
just
bring
telling
up
it to the audience. Yeah, you're right.
No, because just because we share DNA, I mean, we got like 48 to 46 different as far as chromosomes with a chimpanzee. They got 48, we got 46. Somehow they got more than we got. We must have lost to in our creation. But to say that, I mean, dog, chicken, you take a dog, a chicken, and a pig, and DNA wise, that can match up. What do I
it's unusable. It's unusable DNA. That banana stuff. That's what it is. That's what it is. When you say he comes into the banana, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Indigenous Blackman said it. Everything on this planet has an association. We're all connected. Right. Even a tree. Right. We all share common habits because we are all created on this planet.
That's what common ancestor means. That we are all connected, brother. That's what it means. See, you don't stab yourself. You only
come on, you have to do that. Let us say it today. Then you have to do a personal show on that.
I got to be. Gotta have association with this planet in order for this planet to nourish me. The Creator knew that. I eat from this planet.
That's right. That's right. Now, can I ask you a question? We got other people, Elder. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel? Because I'm asking everybody. Do you feel that there was other races of people or species of people that evolved faster than others? I mean, do you feel? And in these teachings, they said that Caucasians were on the top. Would you agree or disagree with that, sir? Champ.
You know I disagree with that, man.
You got to get it on record.
Yeah, Mandika. I disagree with that. But yes, there are humans on the planet that evolve quicker than other humans. I don't know which one that is, but I know it ain't no damn Europeans.
Well, yeah, okay, because think about it. But I'm saying these books, 3 seconds. But I'm saying these books that Uncle West, Juju, and my champion Cedric are using that we're not on the top. These books shouldn't be evolved around us. They should be in somebody else's community, like Vocab Malone's or somebody. So why are we getting in front of us and teaching the youth that we are lesser people? That's all I'm saying, sa.neter. And you're right.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Okay, can we go to Gideon? Can we go to Gideon?
All right, we got another one. All right, we got.
Wait a minute, I'm going to switch to the apostle real quick.
All right, go ahead. Who's talking?
Indigenous.
That was me. Indigenous.
I just wanted to ask the apostle. I'll be like, we talk about chromosomes, right? We got 47. We got deer. You know what I'm saying? Like a deer, we would expect a deer to have more chromosomes than a fruit fly, right?
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah. And our assumption, see, this is what they're doing. They're assuming this lookership, brother, because that assumption is wrong.
Right.
See, a fruit fly chromosomes, fruit flies have 8 chromosomes, brother. The southern red monkjack deer has the lowest recorded chromosome number among mammals, 7 chromosomes for males and 6 chromosomes for females. So you see how your assumption just took you away from the truth? And that's all they're doing is assuming.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, Mandinka, I don't believe until I hear them say that, but I don't believe Unc would say something like Europeans grow and evolve faster than us. I don't believe that until I hear him say that, brother.
No. Listen, but his teacher, he must have read the full book, because if he read the full book, he wouldn't be up there gladly putting it in front of us every time. He must have fell asleep on that page.
I know.
Okay, I don't believe he would say that, brother. Come on.
I know a dog.
Listen, sa.neter, please. Listen, hold up, please. Let me just. I'm 3 seconds. You get back in. I didn't say it came out of his mouth, but his book that he must. Ain't no way I'm gonna be putting this book in front of our community. And in that book, there's a page saying, "Oh, you know what? These people evolved faster than us. They're smarter than us."
Mandika, you've been reading the Bible for how many years, brother? And the Bible says the same goddamn thing, man.
sa.neter, why are you?
Hold on. I'm showing you. I'm showing you something. The Bible talks about how great Israelites are and how damn Africans are, brother.
Okay, guess what? We're not talking about the Bible. Can you go and
I'm talking about the Bible. Apostle still reads it. And
this ain't Apostle show.
People still read the Bible, but the Bible been talking that all this time.
Okay, so remember You address me. Then you get in. Now, remember that we talk about Israelites, and then I say, well, what about the Kemetic stuff? You know what you tell me? We're not talking about Kemet. So can we stick to the
talk about the Kemetic stuff? Go ahead.
No, I don't. No, sa.neter. I know you want to protect, but I get it.
I'm not protecting. I'm just saying, come on, man.
But we're talking about this. People say, what about the Bible?
Hey, talking
come
points.
on, man.
Wait a minute, JJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute, JJ. How is Israel better than their forefathers? Because Israel didn't come around until Jacob.
Right, but let's listen. Don't let them trick you about talking about this Bible. The title of this show. Keep on point.
I just answered that question.
Go ahead. Let's talk about the whole goddamn Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1. Let's just talk about the Bible. We're done talking about scientific racism, y'all.
All right, y'all cool out. Let me bring on Lex Vortex. Lex, you got the floor.
Hey, peace.
What up, Lex?
What's up? Hey, great job. Shout out to great Indigenous black man. Y'all doing a great job. Hey, sa.neter.
Thanks, Lex.
Huh?
I said thank you.
Yeah, peace. Hey, shout out to sa.neter for resilience, man. I seen, you was down, you came back, and now Unc is back around, which is interesting. He wasn't around when it
He low, or is that me?
Yo, Apostle, we can hear him. You low.
I'm low? Okay.
The pseudo killers should be tried for treason, bro, in terms of what they're doing. In terms of what when someone gets a chance, someone pull up the word scientism. What the pseudo killers practice is not science, it's scientism. If someone pull up that definition, I'll get into that. And that's a religion. That's a religion. And the reason why a lot of atheists have to hop onto evolution is because they need something to replace the story. Evolution is just their creation story. Another thing, DZ mentioned a cell phone working. That's called operational science. Don't compare evolution to turning on your lights, because you can't turn on evolution. I can turn on my lights. I can turn on my cell phone. I can turn on my laptop. Operational, functional science. Now, in order for you to truly, trust me, I don't deny evolution completely, because there are things that are true, and this is where scientism comes in, how they confuse people. All right, you cannot turn on and turn a monkey into a human ever in life. They can't produce that. They can't show that. So it is a theory. Now, is it backed up by information? So was court cases. You can provide circumstantial evidence to promote anything that you want. Did OJ do it or not? There's evidence that says he did. There's evidence that says he's doing it. Another thing, I pulled open Darwin's Origin of Species and the Descent of Man and showed Ankh and the pseudo killers where it literally says out of the book, the white evolved races will eventually destroy the lower black races. And Ankh used to deny this, right?
I talked about that. Yeah.
Ankh used to deny this. And one day When I showed it to him, he goes, okay, he's racist. Now what? But he tried to turn Charles Darwin into some type of humanitarian. The truth is, pseudo killers want white proximity. They brought a dude, they talk about the Bible, right? They brought a dude on their show named Aaron Raw. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, Aaron Raw is the guy who's actually misleading a lot of these black atheists. He's the one that pulls them in. Now, they talk about Pseudo. This dude's a member of the Church of Satan. The Church of Satan. Go look up the Temple of Set. Now, how you gonna call somebody pseudo and talk about gods and then bring a dude on? And when they brought him on the channel, they bowed down and kissed the feet like he was a king. They were going, it's such a pleasure to have you on our show. Cedric almost cried.
Did he blank out or was it just
Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. Cedric almost cried for this fucking devil white Harry Potter. Hey, sir, somebody pull up. Somebody, hey, sir, if you get a chance, this is why they've been silencing me for 10 years, y'all, because I knocked them out. If any y'all Hebrews know, when I had my debate with Ngozi 10 years ago, ever since then they put a gag order on Lex. That's why Aunt comes on here and tells sa.neter, don't let that nigga on your channel, because he know they avoid that, because I dedicated my life to studying science. Some of these dudes, they study a little, and I destroyed them 10 years ago. Now now look up Aaron Raw and ask them why did they give him a pass, and why was Cedric crying, and the rest of them chicks, oh my God, it's such a privilege to have you on here, Mr. Aaron. I can't believe it. Aaron Raw, a goddamn Satanist from the Temple of Set. If anybody remember, do y'all remember a video where there was this group that wanted to put the Baphomet symbol on the White House? Yeah, it was on the new. That's where Aaron Raw comes from. And he's led by a dude named Lucian Graves, a Satanist.
Dumb.
Now listen.
Lucy got some
let me just cook, because I'm about to wrap it up.
Cook, Lex.
Cedric has been avoiding me for 2 years. They pick on their bullies. Bro, remember I came on the show, me and Cedric was supposed to debate, and them niggas was justifying, they was justifying the Tuskegee experiment with them giving us gonorrhea, and they were trying to say, it was in the name of scientific discovery. They even co-signed the Tuskegee experiment. Then they promote Big Pharma. They try to say the drugs, they out here promoting the drugs that these people give us, and we supposed to trust these people in the name of science. Bro, look up the word scientism. So what they want, right proximity, they don't use the scientific tools. Listen, a scientist, his job is to give you the data, not to interpret it for you. So when you take the data and you use the tools of science, you can be a scientist too. They try to use this thing called experts. And that's what I call the scientific priesthood. It's no different from the church or whatever. These people have an agenda. It's called social Darwinism, and it's mixed up in their scientific politics. So when they try to say, oh, you just going against science, no, nigga, we going against the racist white crackers behind the information that they're putting it out, you goddamn coons. And let me tell you something. Y'all gonna find out Ankh is a government op. He was in the military. He brings confusion. I'm telling you, when it comes out, you're going to find out that nigga is here to cause disruption and turn black people away from God. He's a goddamn demon.
Oh, man.
I got a question.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's
Oh, man.
Go ahead, cook. Finish cooking, Lex.
No, hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Yeah, he done. He just came in to drop the bomb.
Real quick, I had a special treat for Lex. I got somebody that speaks full Swahili right next to me. And at the end of the show,
not right now. We don't want to hear the Swahili talk. Let me go to the next one.
Let's drop that bomb, man.
The next one is Ra. What up, Ra?
What up, family? Hey, JJ.
Yeah, family. What's up?
Look at this. This right here is what I have for you. I've been reading this. I'm almost halfway done. This is the Old Nephi.
Okay.
It's a real good book. by Dr. Milana Karenga if you ever get a chance to grab it.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn, bro. Go ahead, man.
Okay.
Talk about it.
No, that was it. That's all I was wanting, because I heard you say you was into it now. I'm just recommending that for you. I'm listening. Go ahead. Take me off, son.
Yeah, let me ask you. No, don't leave. No, let me ask you a question. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. Do you believe that there were other races that were more evolved, more than others, that were more intelligent? They got the Caucasian at the top. What do you think about that?
I just think they won a physical war, so they're using their physical prowess to make that statement. But in reality, no. So we lost. And in other words, you know how the kingdoms was destroyed. We was brought off into slavery and all this. They colonized the continent. So they just boasting and trying to say because they did that, that's who they are. But it's their word. When we whoop that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's on and cracking that way. But in reality, we the first people. So it's just like, how can something go higher than that frequency? I'll never see that.
Peace, Blizzak. Yeah, man. Say something that you need to let us come up here at least once a week.
Yeah, that was damn, that shit that Lex brought out.
And somebody out said you laughed at that. No, that wasn't laugh.
Mandika, hold on. I did see the white boy that Lex is talking about, but I ain't do no research on him. Evidently, Lex did the research, so I did see the white boy that was that he was talking about. I don't know about the background, but anyway, I saw him. Kai, what up, brother?
What's up, fellas? Let me tell, man. There's a couple things with this evolution. Number one, there's 3 different kinds. So if you're still stuck on divergence, where supposedly a hominid made love to this, or a bonobo made love to a chimp and made a human, and possibly Believigo got involved, and then you get humans, that's backwards thinking. There's 2 other forms of evolution which should be brought up, and I don't know why people never use these. These are the better types. These are the ones science actually uses now. One would suggest 2 parent chromosomes are biologically growing from the same thing, but they evolve differently. And this is why atheists can never produce different kinds, because you can't mix a hummingbird with an ostrich and get a parakeet. You can't mix a whale with a swordfish and get a shark. Different kinds do not exist because you're not made that way. Biologically, you may come from the same substance. You don't have to have a hominid. This is why you can't produce any hominid skeletal factors when it comes to the fossil record. And then you're running around with pill whatever, man, which was supposedly, when we talk about the hold tight, when we talk about the human being supposedly being the greatest when it reaches whites, what they did was they put a chimpanzee with a dog's mouth. It had like some other animal's incisors. It had some type of animal's body. This was the Piltdown man. This is science lying in front of you. So when you have these issues with science, you have to know how to take things apart. If your hypothesis doesn't fit, we must quit. There are certain things scientifically that they simply do not have, and this is one of them. So anybody still using, to me, you're backwards. If you're still using this hominid mixed with this, you sound silly to me, because you've never seen different kinds produced in nature ever.
So that means one species cannot turn into another species.
I haven't talked. I have not talked. All right. Now, 7 Asar. I'm sorry. Asar and Ka. All right. I'm going to address you in a second, brother. But I want to address what Lex said. No, I'm going to address you now.
Lex is still here. Lex is still here.
I brought up the Piltdown monkey having the human skull and the monkey jaw, brother. And you're right. I mean, that's manipulation, brother. Now, and then Lucy, her hip bones was reconstructed to make it look like she could walk upright. All right, and like I said, Blumenbach is telling us that we degenerated from whites when we know that the darkest people on the planet can have every color of people, but the white people, when the white and white mix, it's just white.
Right.
You know, the last thing for Lex. This is Darwin's theory, Lex. I was talking about it earlier, and I'm glad that you came in and said something about it, okay? Now I'm going to give you some clarity on this. This is Darwin's theory, ladies and gentlemen. The fact of evolution is the backbone of biology. Let me read that again. You know, the core, the strength. The fact of evolution is the backbone of biology, and biology is thus in the peculiar position of being a science founded on an improved theory, right? Is it then a science or faith? That's Charles Darwin asking that question, Lex. There you go, brother. Like you said, scientism. But go ahead now. You know,
all right. Let me bring Lex back in. I guess he got more to drop.
Skipped over Gideon. No, they skipped over Gideon.
No, I know that. Gideon is next after Lex.
I just want to say it's important. I hope someone pulls up Scientism, because that will explain a lot of what the so-called pseudo killers practice.
Come on, pull it up. Scientism. Pull it up. Somebody pull it up.
I'm in my truck. Otherwise, I'd have been on it. I'll pull up all of it.
I got it.
I'm pulling it up right now. Okay.
Thank you.
You gonna put it on the screen? It's the thought of expressions regarded as characteristic scientists. That's all I say, Lex. So maybe the boy can get a better definition.
Basically, scientism is the philosophy. It's just like that science is the ultimate, the only thing that you can interpret the world through. So it's a religion that says there's no other way.
Senator, why are you doing that?
Everybody mute the mic.
What are you putting up? What are you doing?
I'm showing the Scientism video that we did on
No, we don't want. I don't want to see the Scientism video.
Everyone, go to sa.neter Studios. The Visionaries. We did a whole breakdown on Scientism. For some reason, sa.neter is not promoting it.
Yeah, you went in on them on that.
I can show them this. It's called. We did a video on Scientism, and we actually, I agree with Lex. We exposed the pseudo killers for being subscribing to Scientism. It's called In the Name of Scientism, Exposing the Unintelligent. It's on this channel. So I just wanted to add to the build. It's weird how you keep taking the video down. This is a video we actually did.
I would like to see that, Nepal.
Yeah, we actually went in.
Thank you, Nepal.
Thank you. We did papers. We read the papers on it. So that's all I wanted to say. So you can continue, but it was just strange that you kept taking it down.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it was. That's why I see.
I looked the definition up. I got it. The definition for scientism is the belief that science is the only reliable source of knowledge and that scientific methods are the only valid way to understand the world. It's a worldview that elevates science above other forms of inquiry, potentially dismissing philosophy, ethics, and religion as less credible or even invalid.
All right. So what I was saying is,
well, these theories are philosophy, though. These theories are philosophy,
Hold on. Let them finish. Go ahead. What was you saying?
So what I'm saying is they're fooling you when they start talking about science. No, they're talking scientism, because and also what they're not even up on the latest information. And I've been telling them this for years, right? Because if you look at the latest information, even the scientists are saying that Darwin's theory and a lot of things about evolution have to be revisited. For instance, they found out that when you go back 300,000 years, there's no difference in the brains of what they call some of these things they're trying to say that are subhuman. Their genetics are the same. Their DNA is the same. There hasn't been a change in humans in 300,000 years. No change. The same potential, the same brain, the same, development. And so they've also discovered that one reason why evolution doesn't make any sense because of the arising of when humans are able to speak, right? Which is what they call I think it's the SL53 gene, the ability to speak in 500 and the ability, the things that make us human today in terms of brain and intelligence, they arose at exactly the same time. Impossible to do in evolution. You cannot show me the development of speech. Speech just suddenly arose. And this is the type of problems they have. And what do they call these things? The God of the gaps, which is another psyops operation to explain away what they haven't explained. Oh, that's just the God of the gaps. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got there, you ain't there. So we questioning that those portions of the thing. Another thing is when you see white supremacy, when you see Donald Trump and Israel attacking Palestine, carpet bombing the Gazans, that's called ethnic cleansing. They view that. That's what I'm. This is the atrocity of the pseudo killers. That is deeply entrenched in social Darwinism, and what they believe is the evolution of the white people having to get rid of these lower races. They're still doing it. They're still doing it. So how you gonna use that and tell us don't question it? It's science, when that is the basis of their theoretical Western civilization and imperialism.
I'm about to
dudes
cry.
are criminals. That's why I've been fighting them for so long. They should be hung in the middle of Congo Square.
Yo,
Lex, hey, Lex, get on it.
sa.neter, we need Lex and Unc on here. We need that bad.
Okay, no, but he don't ask no questions. We don't need him up here. How about Gideon?
All right, Gideon, you up next, brother. What's up?
Yeah, what's going on? Shabbat shalom. Peace, everybody. All praise to the Most High in the name of Yeshua.
Yo, your mic is underwater. Your mic is underwater, Gideon.
How about now?
Now it's good. Now it's good.
Yeah, I just want to say to JJ and to the other brother, Indigenous, you know, that was a great presentation, man. It made a lot of sense. And it definitely just begs the question from these atheists. But I just want to make a statement, and I just want to say this one thing that we all know, that faith is the evidence of things hoped for, and rather the evidence of things not seen. So what Lex was saying, that made a lot of sense. Scientism is faith. That's the missing link. That's faith. That's evidence for something you haven't seen and you can't prove. Just as we say that intelligent design is true, that's faith. But see, this is where it kind of differs at. You know, that Job tells us that Yahweh gives man spirit and he also gives them understanding. So in the very base of understanding, we can look at 4 things that disprove evolution. We can look at how animals are created. They say they evolve. So please explain the evolution of an animal like a quokka, a marsupial, that abandons its young when it's being chased by predators. Explain the evolution process into that if we evolve from one thing with one thing in mind, and that's to survive. Or rather, we have birds that swallow stones for digestings. I think they call gastroliths. Explain the evolutionary thinking behind gastroliths. Or you have an animal like the
evolution of eyes.
Right. Or we have animals like a spider tail viper, that its tail is basically like an insect that fool birds into coming thinking it's an insect, and then it attacks them. But Yahweh tells us his creation is beautiful. So I need the evolutionists to explain that process. Like birds of paradise, how they make elaborate settings for their mates to impress them. Like, what's the sense of that in evolution? So that right there just kills the whole evolutionist thinking, which I say is white supremacy. And it's a shame that Onk and them believe in that madness.
Okay, I got a question for you. I got a question. Hold on, let me ask you the question. Ask everybody. All right, go ahead.
Wait a minute. The definition of racism is white supremacy, brother. All right? Remember that. And when we're talking about atheists, you know, they say an atheist doesn't require a belief in anything. That's what they say all the time, right? And you know what I put underneath that? I said, except for a strong belief that God doesn't exist. That's a strong belief. You believe that God don't exist, don't you?
Yes, I believe.
And you pointed it out, Indigenous black man. I just want to say 5 seconds, JJ. I'm gonna get up. Like, people don't realize that the reason why they come up with this evolution model is to distance themselves from the original black man. They hate to say that they came from us and they was taught by us, so they want to distance us by millions of years, have you thinking we was walking around not reading or writing for hundreds and thousands of years until they stumbled into Europe. It's madness, but yeah.
Well, to the victor goes the spoils in the narrative, man. Whitewashing is a real thing, and to the victor goes the spoils and the narrative. See?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey, like I say, man, we've been waiting to get this information out for a while. Like when we come up on other, like with somebody else's show, we can't really get it all out. We did a lot of this. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, maybe 3 or 4 years. Talking about this on our channel and different other channels. We finally got to do it on the big stage. And like I say, we're not up here. We give you the chance to interact with us. We're not cutting you off and say, no, I ain't gonna deal with that. That ain't how we do it at the Lions Den. See, we different from pseudo killers. You see, because they have an agenda. Lions Den is a mixed group of everybody, so everybody's thoughts are welcome. Everybody's information is welcome. We're gonna decipher it together. So I hope people are learning and they're just taking a look at different perspectives of this conversation. Because a lot of times, the past couple of years, there's only been one perspective when it comes to evolution and atheism, and they're talking in absolutes, and that's where me and Indigenous have a problem with that.
Yeah, Mandika, this definitely turned out to be a good show with y'all two. I like it. Y'all two did good.
You gonna bring us back? We got some.
Hell yeah. And remember, I'm just being the devil's advocate when I go in like that, because I'm trying to turn it up and make y'all go in. That's all it is when I do that. I do that.
John Kenyon.
Yeah, I do that with everybody, brother.
I know you do.
We appreciate you for it, sa.neter. We appreciate you for it too.
Yes, sir.
Because like I said, you let everybody come up and talk, and even though what I'm saying, you let everybody come up and talk, and like I said,
even though I don't agree with all of it, y'all still get to talk. Y'all get your point across.
Hey, everybody, go ahead and donate. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Everybody, go ahead and donate $1. I'm gonna donate 10, but $1 for this good information that was brought to you today. To help the house of conscience. Come on, man. Can start get the cash app out? Get past the collection plate. You see what I'm saying, man? We gotta learn to support each other in this.
All right, and y'all see what we got. She ain't got the date on there, but I think it's the 28th.
28th.
I do have
28th. I know.
Yeah, the date is on.
I know. I keep my ears to the streets.
Yeah, Nepal going up against Ryan. He's been a lion in these streets lately, man. Ryan has been a lion in these streets lately.
Yeah.
Ryan
been going to war. He just had a debate 2 days ago. But hey, I want you to do Bible study with Uncle Asar on here, so we can really go into the book the way it's supposed to be going into.
And then y'all know who we got coming up this weekend. There it is. YK the Truth. YK the Truth.
Okay.
I never heard of him. Real quick, family. I didn't put the name of the guest because we don't want people harassing the guest.
Yeah.
Do not miss tomorrow's show.
Man. Yeah. Tomorrow's show gonna be off the chain. 7 o'clock, Nepal?
I think she said it's 7 p.m. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna confirm just to make sure, but it's gonna be a phenomenal show. It's definitely Juneteenth worthy, and if you miss it, you're just gonna have to get the playback. But she will be here with us tomorrow.
Well, feathers are up right now. But we got the best man for the job. That's YK the Truth will be in here, and that's going to be awesome. Y'all don't want to miss that. All right, we got Brother La that just hit the panel. Where he at?
What's up, Brother La?
Brother La, he hit it and came back out.
But yeah,
can I say something, Saul? Can I address, because my name was disrespected and dragged, and I need to address it.
Yeah, address it, brother.
I want to speak to Indigenous black man.
You're not ready for him, bro.
Okay. Brother, this is the first time we've spoken, correct, right?
It don't matter. You're not ready.
Yo, let him go.
I'm not speaking to you, JJ.
Man,
I had decorum. I didn't say nothing while everyone was speaking. I purposely did not speak
Go
and
ahead,
have
ask your
decorum
question.
on this show.
Mandika, let him go, brother. Just be
So I can speak without being interrupted as I did for you. I showed you that respect, so please show me that same respect. Now, Indigenous Blackman, you made a claim that I had said something about you, brother. This is my first time speaking to you. The only time that I speak about anybody on here if I'm speaking to them directly or in the chat, for the most part, unless we're collectively talking about a person. But I've never said anything adverse about you, brother.
Ask the question,
So
please.
for you to come on here, and to disrespect me and use personal attacks, which I don't do, which I can do, I'm very good at doing, but I don't do that because it's about the scholarship on here, not WWE. I don't attack my brothers and sisters on here. We may disagree with information, but I would never attack you, especially behind your back. So I feel I'm owed an apology for that attack you done on me, because whoever told you that, they need to show and prove what I said to you. Show it on a video, show it on the chat, because I've never said anything adverse to you, brother. And secondly, if anybody on here wants to debate me, they challenge me. No one's challenged me. And if you want to debate, let's debate about who has more information and more scholarship towards their theory. Is it the Outer Africa theory or whatever theory that you have? Because I don't even know the name, right?
Okay.
Let's debate who has more information, who has more, whose information has been vetted more by journals, whose information has been talked about more by scholars, and who has the consensus and why.
You're not a part of that.
Call out is real.
You're not a part of that.
Can I say something now?
Hey, stop.
Oh,
When
let's
these
get him.
dudes talk like that, it kills me.
Get him, Lex.
When he talk, they be saying, "Let's talk about the info." We got this, nigga. You ain't got nothing. What you're doing is parroting, bro. And you got to understand, just because someone puts out more information, that's because they got more of the media, more of the propaganda tools to do it. So that's just like if we're in a court cases are won by who spends the most money and who has the most access to influence people. So when you say
if that's the case, then your information should be more sound. If it's about propaganda, then your information should be more sound, and you should be able to present. You should be able to present that your information, though it's not more, it's more stronger information. See, what you're doing is a cop out, right? What you guys doing? You guys have all this information from the Outer Africa theory, right, to critique, but we don't have a lot of information of your theory to critique. You know why? Because people out there are going into this foolishness, into
hold up, hey bro,
a lot of people have debunked what you guys have discussed, right? You're convoluting eugenics and evolution and making a big thing about it, like you guys are doing something which you're really not. And you're dominating this conversation, and you're happy that you're able to get your pseudo ideas out, or what you would call the theory.
It's like you jealous, and you hold on. Let me say something to him, sa.neter. This is Indigenous.
The brother cut me off
because you was sitting there and you did.
They scared, sa.neter. They scared.
Can I be heard? Can
you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, hold up.
Can y'all hear me?
Hold on, Indigenous. Lex was cut off in the middle of his statement. He was cut off.
Well, he just came up here and said something to me, though. He come up here and said something to me, and I'm gonna tell him when he did it and how he did it.
Yeah. I'm speaking to you, Indigenous, because you attacked me, and you speaking like I'm scared to debate somebody. Let's debate that topic. Let's debate that.
All right. Be quiet, y'all. Go ahead, Indigenous.
Now, a star. You will sit here and say, "I didn't talk about you." You did talk about me. Sa.neter was sitting here, and sa.neter made a comment and said, "Come on up, Indigenous, quit being scared." And you said, "Oh, they're scared. They don't have and some of them could be agents." I heard it with my own ears. I don't need nobody to tell me nothing.
I heard it too.
I didn't call you an agent. I didn't call you an agent. That don't mean that I called you an agent, Indigenous. That's the bullshit.
Statement, bro. You cutting people.
You ain't nowhere near on this information, right? But you want to come up and
You ain't never like the room with the
right source. Hail Mary,
Go
they
ahead,
despise
Neo.
what the light brought. Let them roach
I am the
niggas bleed
minister.
what you can't see. Sa.neter TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, I need me your love, yeah, that's just me.
All right, that's it. We moving on. We moving
Hey,
on
get
from
up.
here,
Can I
y'all.
just finish laying my
Now
plane
get
with
him
my
out of
last
here. He's
statement?
messing up
No,
our show.
no, Mandinka, relax. I just said
Yeah,
that's it. Go ahead, Lex, finish. We're
yeah,
gonna
let us
move
flow.
on.
One more last thing I want y'all to do not fall for this gaslighting. We're we're not against science. See, that's what they put these arguments up there, and that's what's confusing people. If we question science, that don't mean people say science is done it. Nigga, I'm with science. But that doesn't mean, listen, all the innovators of science throughout history have been scientists that went against the that went
You don't
that
believe in the
went
higher theory.
huh?
Hey, sa.neter, can you get
I
everybody
said,
off? I mean, come on, man. Y'all messing up. We did great. I don't want y'all. We want people to watch this.
did I go out? I can't.
No, you're fine. He's almost done, JJ.
Y'all keep cutting people off. Let him finish. Lex, finish.
Now we cut you.
The question is not if you're against science. All the innovators of science were ridiculed by what we call the mainstream scientists when they brought forth new ideas. What the pseudo killers is doing is the opposite of science. Just like Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. So in order for you to advance in science, you kind of have to go against the mainstream ideas in order to move forward. How else will you discover a new energy system? If we go by what science says now, there's no free energy. There's no way there's nowhere to go. If we stay stagnant, what they're teaching is the opposite of science. Science thrives on being challenged, saying, oh no, that idea, I got a better idea. And when that better idea comes, mainstream scientists who invested money in textbooks and said this is where it is, they reject it because there's money involved. And then 20 years later, it comes out that the guy that they call Pseudo was right. This happened many, many times. Many times. So don't let them use the gaslighting, oh, y'all are against science. No, we just question everything like a scientist should.
Facts.
All right.
I want to say something to Lex.
Hold on.
Can I speak to Lex for a second, please?
Go ahead.
Lex, I would love to bring you on. We did a build on this before. Doc Too Sweet, Sakina Ra, me. And then the next time we do a build on scientism, we want you to come in. And so sa.neter can get in touch with you. We can email the link to you because that's absolutely 100% correct.
Me and Indigenous ain't invited.
Oh, yeah, of course. Mandika.
All right.
Every time I talk, you gotta cut. Bro, let me just do my close. Can I close out?
Listen, brother. Listen and be quiet when the host is talking, because you don't even know what I was about to say. What I'm going to say right now is I'm going to allow Mandika and Indigenous Blackman to close us out. See, that's what I wanted to say. Close the show out, Mandika and Indigenous Blackman.
My fault, big brother. All right.
Let me go first, JJ.
All right, go ahead.
We know in the American medical system, ladies and gentlemen, that the cure for anything is looked down upon. They might even run you out the country. All right. We know that they give us medicine to make us feel better. We know that these, and it's not just, on one group of people, it's on all of us. The white woman and children are the ones who are on welfare the most. They say that we're poverty. Well, they're the ones who get the most benefits. And they say that we're the welfare queens. It's just stuff like that, y'all. You just wake up and use your head. I love y'all, like I said. And the only reason why I come over here to do this, it ain't because I love my brother too. I'm a big fan of I go to his show and watching everything Garfield too. But, I want y'all to start doing your due diligence when people tell you things instead of just, allowing them to tell you how it is. Go back and do your own research. And I want y'all to keep y'all's head high, your grass low, and stop lying to my people. And I love y'all. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, brother. Mandinka, close up.
Thank you, sa.neter.
Hey, put the HOK goat on the big screen real quick, man. Because I've been waiting to do this show for a long time, man. So, we finally got to do it. and there wasn't too many interruptions because y'all have heard for a long time one side of this, right? You never, because when they do the show, you never get to hear the other side, the other challenges, because they're getting cut off. They don't want to deal with the topic. So we're gonna be back. We're gonna be talking about different things. We're gonna be talking about AI. We're gonna be talking about artificial babies that they're making in these little chambers. It's a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna be talking about the chips they put in your brain to make you smarter. That's the level we on. We need to be advanced the conversation to those type of topics, because us arguing about what happened 2,000 years ago is not benefiting us while they're doing all these new technologies. I seen Nepal and sister DJ Genesis Alliance did women's champion talk about AI. That's where we need to go, because we've been talking about like I say, the past for a long time. It's time to elevate and talk about things in the future. Now, I will say this. West, y'all got destroyed today. I mean, it was bad. It was brutal. And it was ugly. But here's one thing I want to say. I had two debates. I guess I'm supposed to be debating Reverend Charles. Is it fair to humanity that we have to get punished for Adam's sin? That's the debate I want with Dr. Charles and you, Vocab, since you. Vocab, I want you to get up here and prove that the Israelis are the Israelis the true children of Israel or converts? That's my debate for you, because you always jump in front of Israelites, Comedics.
That's a good topic for Vocab, Jay. Good topic.
I'm putting him on defense.
Yeah.
And me and we're trying to get the debate coliseum going. We got Silky versus Anon. We're trying to set that up. We got King Seth versus Judah Natters. We're trying to set that up because they had it lined up. We got a whole bunch of things lined up that we need to really get back going. And like I said, I appreciate to finally get here and talk about this information, and y'all can see our side of it. Like I say, I love you, sa.neter. I love you, Nepal. I love my wife, Jenny Hayes. Peace and blessings, man. We got more real information to come. Shout out to Neo Love, Sister Prima, Lions in the building. Get out your feelings. I'm out.
That's right.